Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
James Farley.
Hello.
And the COVID-ridden Sean Bell.
Greetings from the isolation hole.
How you doing, Sean?
Bad. I'm still positive. I've done
It's good to remain
minimum
positive, isn't it?
6 days.
You've got to keep yourself upbeat.
Especially at the beginning of the year. You know, it's like...
I've been testing for the last 2 days because I'm now in the window that 2 negative tests and I'm a free man. But no, they've both been positive.
The tension
it's
that
horrible,
must be
mate.
building as you're watching that.
This is what I was saying on WhatsApp. I can't watch it. I have to just do the little pipette and then I have to fucking walk away and do something else for 15 minutes.
I can't do that. I have to sit there and watch the saliva slowly climb that little white strip. And I'm like, what's going on here then? Yeah, it's mad. I mean, I listened to the bonus show. You tested positive shortly after recording the bonus show, the January bonus show. And listening back to it, it was like, oh no, he blatantly had COVID. Because you can hear it breaking out while we're recording. You start off, you're like, yeah, I'm Sean Bell. Yeah, I've had this. And then by the end of it, you're like, I'm sorry, I zoned out there for a moment. Oh, did you, Sean? Yeah. I think I even said to you when we logged off, I went, oh, you got the COVID.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I probably should do a test, just in case. And then, fuck.
Sean. Well, hopefully we'll get better soon. Hopefully get a negative one tomorrow and then the day after, and then you're a free man.
That'd be nice.
That's what we want, isn't it?
I don't. I've not got any plans. I just be nice to just walk the fucking dog or something. You know what I mean?
Are you the first one to get it out of the cast?
I am, yeah.
Who had Sean Bell in the sweepstakes?
Someone's even fucking go out, so it won't be him.
Someone's got won a lot of money on that, I think.
Yeah.
Right, before we continue, we would like to thank our Patreon producers for this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit, the Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gazman, Gabby Pereira, Graham Mackay, Rocketman76, Rex Reese, Happy Birthday Sam, Love from Neil, aka Bitch and Sink, Grey Dragon Claw, Fred Fenge, and Garrison Savannah. They are the full Nels crew. They supported us on patreon.com/TCGS, and you can do that too. You don't have to go full Nels, It'd be nice if you did, but you don't have to go full Nels. There are various different tiers. The bonus show this month, we spoke about what happened over Christmas, films we watched, and all that sort of stuff. And we've got a talks over coming up very shortly. What's up, Matt?
Well, I mean, obviously, famously, now you can literally hear someone having COVID live on a podcast, which I'm not sure if that's actually happened ever. So it's a real, time capsule.
Yeah.
One for the family to listen to.
Any scientists out there that want to hear what it sounds like? Someone slowly breaks out in COVID, then there you go. There you go. They're going to be playing that. What was it? I think we said this in the WhatsApp group. Like, that's a piece of history right there. There's something to show the grandkids. Like,
the British Museum.
To this. Yeah. Yeah, the British Museum. A man on a podcast with COVID. I'm sure there's probably about 1,000 different podcasts to be able to be played there. But we'd be the best.
Yeah.
We'd be the best. Also, we would charge the Science Museum the Patreon bonus pod tier fee to play that every time because, we're not... Come on, it's a business.
They can have it for free if they agree to launch it into space in a probe like that.
No, I'm not agreeing to that. How are we getting money out of that?
It's exposure, in it, Dave. It's,
What, to who? Aliens?
Aliens, yeah. Will be the first podcast.
How much are those balloon things where you could send out up to space?
I'm sure they're pretty cheap.
You think?
Do you reckon?
No.
Based on what?
Yeah, James is just guessing, isn't he?
Yeah, I was just guessing. That's why I said no afterwards. Because
we're going to have to look into this. We're going to have to look into this, because it wouldn't be expensive to send a cheap player up there Could we be the first podcast?
Why are you saying
this
now? Because Kane and Rince are literally saying, "Well, we're going to do it because we know these fucks are lazy." So
no.
Liam Fox has already done it. He's in the air now as we speak.
I've said this on the podcast now, meaning we have to get this done and arranged tomorrow. Let's look into that. Could we be the first podcast played in space?
That'd
I guarantee
great.
It's already been done.
When the aliens do turn up, and they'll be like, "Yeah, we're here for the podcast." Fellas, and everyone, oh, what? Joe Rogan? No.
It will be. It'll be Joe Rogan.
And then they just look at them directly in the eye. They look like the FBI, who I assume turn up and say, "No, Farley's fantasy zone." Whoa. They go, right, okay.
Yeah, we'll have that playing on repeat in space, and then we'll also
we can do this.
You know that famous kind of etched drawing that was sent out in like many spaceships where it showed kind of man naked. It had like those numbers on it. We'll recreate that as well with Farley Fantasy Zone, and then
and
that's what thing.
And like we get invaded, and it's like Farley's Fantasy Zone is responsible for that. It'll be
we don't have to be the first, right? I don't care about that, but actually getting the podcast played out into space is quite funny. I think we should look into that. it. But this is an important show, important episode, this one. It's not the standard run-of-the-mill TCGS. Oh no, it's the prediction show. And what we're going to be doing is listening back to our predictions that we made for 2021, and we'll be making new predictions for 2022. I've got mine in front of me. I'm very excited to announce them. I'm not as excited to listen back to what we said about last year, because I don't think I did too well. But should we start with the feedback, Matt? Did we get much feedback on the Gotti show?
We did. I mean, I was going to start elsewhere, but we'll start at Gotti. Yeah, I mean, we obviously got loads of fantastic comments and whatnot about the Gotti show. I'm not going to read them all now because that would be silly. Just got about.
It was mostly Twitter and Discord and stuff, wasn't it? So not much on the feedback form, but yeah, loads of people were tweeting at us and chatting about it in the Discord. That was really nice. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. So.
Yeah, obviously a lot of people big fans of James's appearance. Or actually, I think a lot of people were quite impressed with your stamina, James. I think the difference being this year, it was the Red Bull with the alcohol.
I know, the Red Bull was, I seriously think it was a good call, like going for the Red Bull, because it...
I don't know. Have you listened back to it?
No, I've not listened back to it.
I'm not so sure.
I've not listened back to it, but I do know that I went to bed and didn't feel horrible. I didn't feel horrible the next day, and also I stayed awake for the entire show. So for me, that's a win. It's a win.
The entire night.
At what point you said it is a game?
Did I say that?
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that, honestly.
And you accidentally voted for the wrong game.
Did I do that?
Oh, that was good. Yeah, nearly. Yeah,
I did that. Yep.
Don't remember that.
I know.
It was terrible because I remember saying the next day, like sending you messages, Dave, of just like, what did Forza Horizon go out to? I don't remember. Like,
do you remember what game won?
Yeah, I remember which game won. I know it's scandalous, but I couldn't remember what it was up against. I couldn't remember what it was up against.
Me, right? Your argument for not picking that game is that it's obvious everyone loved it on this show. Right, yeah. That was the reason you didn't want Death's Door to win.
Because it was so predictable that it was going to be that. I
genuinely didn't think it was.
Of course it was.
The point is that everyone loved it, James.
I know.
And not everyone loved all the others.
But everyone did love like... It Takes Two, although Sean hadn't played it. So it was like,
yes, I had a bit of it.
You didn't finish it, did you? You played it a little bit.
And we all loved Metroid Dread. We all loved loads of games. It's not like the Life is Strange 2 situation where it was just, well, it's the only one we've all played, and we did all like it, but it wasn't. Yeah, but you know what I mean? I think this is a far cry from that, because we actually all loved Death's Door.
James, do you remember how it won?
No.
Oh, you don't remember?
Not entirely. No.
You what the lead characters' names were in It Takes Two, and you then googling it and then admitting to googling it, which meant that
I do remember that, because I remember when you asked me, did you Google it? And I remember in my mind thinking, if I lie, he's never going to believe me anyway. So I might as well just tell the truth. And then, yeah.
I was actually angry at you for that, because I thought it would have been funnier to have 30 seconds of you trying to think of what the names were. But instead, you just went, oh, the names of this. Did you Google it? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It was like, killed the bit. Anyway, right, sorry. Feedback, Matt.
Yeah, I'm not going to read all the feedback, but basically a lot of people said it was fantastic. We'll actually go with Gareth and Savannah. Newly full Nelson member. Not that being a full Nelson member guarantees you a slot in the feedback. No. But we'll go Garrison's. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, guys. I upped my Patreon pledge for a month as a late Christmas present. So thank you for an awesome year of podcasts, streams, and other stuff you guys do. It's been great having your stuff to watch or listen to when it's been a tough year. Looking forward to another year of awesome content. Hope you're all doing well, keeping safe. Have a great year.
Cheers, Garrison.
Yeah, a lot of people said it is a really good Gotti. And we all felt, I think, that it was it's going to be a bit of a weird one because we all love loads of games. There wasn't like any standout kind of 10 out of 10s that we were worried it would be kind of the default winner. But I think it made for an interesting show, especially given the fact.
No. I told you right from the start. I said Death's Door was going to win. Like right from the start, it was an obvious winner. It was the default winner. It was going to happen.
I don't think it was obvious. I think there's plenty of others that could have taken it.
That's the funniest thing about that is that James is the only one that thinks that. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? You're the only one that thought that was definitely going to win because I didn't. I thought I was going to have to, like, I think I wanted it to win, but I wouldn't have minded if It Takes Two won. But, like, I was worried about Metroid Dread.
My reasoning for this was that I thought it was going to win because nobody felt really, really strongly about everything, like, about anything this year. Like, really, absolutely, this has to win, like, sort of strongly. And that's why, I don't know why, but Death's Door to me just felt like that's the cop-out one that everyone's just going to go for.
Why's the cop-out? Right up, man. I hate James. He's such a...
Cop-out for a game we all loved and all played.
Yeah, it was a good game.
As Sean said, it's not like, well, we all played Life is Strange 2, so I guess it's that. Like,
it was a good game, but It Takes Two was better.
Why is it so obvious to you that Death's Door was going to win over Metroid Dread?
Because I didn't think that David would really get behind Metroid Dread.
He did though. He finished it.
I know.
Yeah, he loved it.
Said he really loved it,
but he wasn't
really enjoyed it. But
yeah, exactly.
He wasn't. I cannot believe it was up there for a lot of people. Like honestly, Metroid Dread was good fun, right? And I enjoyed it. Got to the end, but I got to the end of it and thought, oh, what? This was the one that everyone's saying it should be Game of the Year.
And that's why I knew it wasn't going to go through to the end. Because, you know...
Why? Because you know that I'm the best.
Well, no, because I also knew that you did that deal with Sean, and that, you know, you didn't know that.
Yeah, but all that did was took Metroid out. Yeah. And you could have stopped that, James. You could have stopped that, and you didn't.
I know. I regretted that at the time. It was...
James, I think you said... Metroid Dread had unresponsive controls, which is one of the most offensive things you've ever said.
Yeah, that was weird.
No, one of the most offensive things you ever said, Matt, was that Super Metroid had bad controls. I mean...
Got you there, Matt.
I wasn't talking about me, I was talking about you and your takedown of Metroid Dread. Let's get on with the feedback. Yeah. Clark Cake Mix has messaged, you lads discussed a brainwipe option last week. Obviously, this may be late feedback, so let's say last year.
Yeah, this is over the last month.
Game, you could play a game for the first time with no memory. 2 years ago, I was in an accident that resulted in brain damage and memory loss, and as a result, I lost my memories of Final Fantasy 7 and 8, my favourite all-time games. Getting to go through these games for the first time all over again was genuinely wonderful, and I feel like I got to experience a literal nerd wish come true. So if you want to play anything again, just get hit by a motorbike while walking home at 60 plus mile an hour, go into a coma for a few weeks and get 2 skull fractures and a crushed frontal lobe, which is now fully healed and recovered. Cheers for the great pod, lads. Thanks for making my lockdown less painful on my daily walks. And that's from Clark Cake Mix.
I'm glad you're fully recovered and you're doing okay. I think if I had the choice of playing Breath of the Wild again with no knowledge or being hit by a 60 mile per hour motorbike, I think I'd just
leave it.
Yeah.
That
sounds horrific. That
does sound horrific.
Doesn't sound like a fair
I could swap. I could never do it because reading this, it's like just get hit by a motorcycle while walking home at 60 plus mile an hour. I cannot walk at 60 plus mile an hour. That's never going to happen for me, Clark. I wish it could, but I just can't walk that fast. I'm sorry, I can't.
No, we get
it. Okay, Billy has messaged. This is definitely old feedback, but we'll say it again just so everyone gets the idea. Billy has said you can get Nopper bars from Aldi, Morrison's and Amazon, to name but a few in the UK. This is obviously the bars that James thought was exclusive to Germany. Has now since sent us all, and we all loved them. But yeah, you can get Noppers from a wide variety of places over here in the UK.
Highly recommended. Great bar of chocolate.
James is the sort of person that when ordering a game wants to send it to somewhere in England and pick it up on the way over, but when he wants to give out gifts, he wants to buy them in Germany and bring them over when you can buy them around the corner in a local Aldi.
I'm not going to do it next time. Fuck off.
Joe said to me today, this marzipan head, can we chuck this now? And I went, nope. We are keeping that marzipan.
Mine as well. We haven't
I'm not getting rid of that. I ain't getting rid of that. But you're right, James. You turned around and said, do you know anyone that likes eating marzipan? I was like, nope. I was like, why do they make these things?
It's true.
But it's the same thing about rock as well, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's disgusting, isn't
rock.
it? It's like, it's another thing that's kind of vile, isn't it?
It's just really awful to eat.
Yeah.
Who eats that?
It gets stuck in your teeth, and also when you eat it, you know that it's destroying your teeth as well as you're eating it.
Yeah, it feels like you're being assaulted, doesn't it? It's just,
I can't imagine anyone liking rock. Right, go on.
Okay, Haribo Kart has messaged, "Hi guys, just wanted to let you know what difference you can make to a person. I have spent most of this year alone, either bedridden or hospitalised due to the combo of COVID plus cancer sneaking up on me, nearly killing me twice. Not the highlight of the past few years, I'm sure you can imagine. However, one of the few things I looked forward to every week was TCGS, partly for the lads' bants." Autocorrect actually changes to lads' pants, by the way. Nice. Partly for the games news and mostly for the laughs. Much needed laughs actually caused me physical pain, but it was worth it for the escapism. I had to go back to hospital over Christmas and very much enjoyed catching up on the side content I had missed. Can't wait to hear the Gotti show and wish the four of you all the very best going into 2022. Assuming I get through this shit, you'll be seeing me on the Full Nails crew as soon as possible. Which reminds me, fullnailstudios.com is an actual website.
Full Nelson Studios.
Which is concerning. Yeah. Thank you so much and keep doing what you're doing from Haribo Kart.
Cheers, Haribo Kart. And I should say that I've been following your thread about what you've gone through over the past year or so on Rollmuck. And yeah, man, it's been a tough read, but I'm glad that, hopefully things are looking better now. And I'm absolutely honoured to have you as a listener.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for the message.
Mm-hmm. Not 100% sure whether I should read this out, but I'm going to do it. Blender, Farley's Fantasy Zone track is in the wild. Thought you guys would like to know that while playing Quasar/Laser Quest in Sheffield City Centre today, and halfway through the game, James's voice booms out with the Fantasy Zone jingle. Apparently, the owner has randomly added it to the playlist of music in the arena.
I mean, I'm honoured if that's true, but I can't believe it.
Oh, God, I hope it is.
If someone gets that on tape, if anyone's thinking about going to Laser Quest, right, go to the one in Sheffield City Centre and try and get a video of that. We need to see that, right?
I mean, Matt, you're closest.
We need some evidence.
I'm half tempted to take a day trip down to Sheffield just to...
I mean, you love Quasar as well, don't you, Matt?
I've never done it, actually. I'd love to give it a go.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What?
It's perfect. Thinking man's paintball, mate.
Whoa. You've never done Laser Quest?
No. There was one in Portsmouth, which was the closest one to Bognor, but I never know where to go.
Yeah, but when you were a kid or whatever, they were everywhere.
And they weren't in Bognor.
They didn't have a Laser Quest in Bognor.
They didn't have a lot of things in Bognor,
little home ones that they tried to bring out?
They only just had a Woolworths, and even that got blown up. So, no, wasn't a lot. The closest one was in Portsmouth, and when we went past it on the car, I was like, I just want to have a go and see what it's like, but never did. So
here's the thing.
The fact it's still actually happening in 2021 is amazing. I'd love to see what it's like.
Yeah, when we were down in Brighton, there was one right opposite our hotel, and I was so tempted to go in there. It was open. But that means that we've got a listener who is the manager of a Laser Quest. Matt, if you're close by, I'm sure he'd give you a free game. And not only that, he would just have Farley's Fantasy Zone on a loop the whole game, just over and over again. But maybe cutting some sushi sake in the middle.
I need to go there and say, hey, I've got a question about some of the music you play here.
No. They'll email in and set up a time and date and VIP. What's VIP in Laser Quest like, do you reckon? Do you reckon you get like a buffet beforehand?
I bet you probably get a buffet like sausage rolls, and like maybe
you get golden
chips,
bottle of Coke.
Yeah.
You get like mirrors that you can hold up to your sensors on your chest. Do you reckon that? I reckon that.
Yeah.
Tomato ketchup that comes in one of those massive bottles.
It's one of those things that, like you say, part of you thinks like, oh my god, what's Laser Quest like in 2022? I bet you it hasn't changed at all.
No, I bet it's exactly
the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
I remember walking out, looking at the screen and seeing where you were, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
oh man, and the smell of that fake smoke.
It's the dry ice, isn't it?
The smoke machine.
That they're going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's either that or BO, right? It's, doing you a favour.
Well, I take showers, Sean. I take showers,
but it's everyone else that's the problem. It's other people.
Of course it is. Go on, what's next?
Right, a Tiny Tim, esteemed sirs, as a 12-year-old footballer, I'd like to ask you to please stop misleading your young listeners. Adolescence is already confusing, and we don't need you muddling things even further by talking about single-player and multiplayer games as if they're different categories. They're not. All games are technically multiplayer. If they have an AI system, usually a whole team of people designed it, ergo, you're playing against them through a proxy/avatar. Appreciate y'all, but please get the facts straight.
That's a rubbish.
No, Tiny Tim, no.
Yeah.
It's an interesting
not at all.
way of looking at it.
No, it's not. It's very rubbish.
I was thinking about this the other day, though.
He's a 12-year-old kid, James. Jesus.
Yeah.
This reminds me, because I should have brought this up on the Game of the Year show, really, but one of the things people don't talk about that much on Deathloop is how terrible the enemy AI is. And I remember playing that game and just going, the enemy AI in this game is shocking, like really bad. And then I thought, hold on, when was the last time I ever read a review or heard a review on a podcast where they talk about enemy AI in a game? Like, have people just given up caring about it? Because do you remember there was a period in like sort of, I guess it was the 2010s, around that period.
Oh, it was that. It was then, and then also people were going, "Is it scripted? It's not AI, it's scripted," and there was all that.
yeah. Call of Duty was very much like slagged off for that.
Well, Half-Life was the big one, wasn't it? Because that introduced scripting, and everyone was like, "Oh man, the AI is incredible," and then, aha, it's a bit of a trick. And then I remember the first Unreal.
Halo was another big one. It was like, oh my god, they're actually flanking and you know.
Well, because the big thing with Unreal was like, oh, when enemies are hurt, they actually run away from you. Turns out that's really fucking annoying because you'd just be chasing one guy over half the level, just like. But yeah, that used to be a big deal, and now not so much.
Now we've got Deathloop.
And yet it seems hard to believe that it's just like, oh yeah, well we sort of mastered that artificial intelligence. And we've moved on. It's nowhere else to go with that.
They're as realistic as you could possibly get these days.
We've done it.
Sure, they do peek out from the same spot behind cover every say 3 seconds, so you can just put your crosshair there and wait for them to peek out again. But isn't that what real soldiers do? Sorry, a bit of a tangent, but Tiny Tim, no, you're not getting away with that fault. Because it is wrong.
That's it for feedback. But just before we get to the end of it, what do we all think about the fact that Gotti Show was in January this year?
I hated it.
Yeah,
I didn't like the gap. I don't think it affected the quality of the show. I think we still got a very good show out of it. But it was weird. Yeah, it was sort of hanging over me sort of during Christmas, knowing that it was coming.
Well, for me, it's more that 2021's done now. A couple of weeks into, or a week or so into 2022, and we're going, what was the best? Let's look back. No, the looking back happens in the end of December. It doesn't happen in January. I mean, you're supposed to be looking forward.
Plenty of outlets do their Gotti stuff in January, don't they?
I know, but which ones?
Don't Giant Bomb do that?
Giant Bomb.
Exactly.
Been kind of funny.
I mean, I'm not saying we should be like Giant Bomb. I'm aware that other people do that.
Yeah, but we're better than that.
Exactly.
No, I hated it. Matt, are you going to say, it's more fair? We don't want it fair.
No, I was totally like Sean. It was hang over me. Like I, in one hand, great, we have more time to play games. I can actually find the time to play games, so whatever. Because wouldn't it be great if we all played the games? Wouldn't it be great? And then we had the chance, whatever. I mean, I think we probably did play more of the games this year, but anyway, no, it's absolutely hanging over me. I look forward to the whole, mid-December draft, and then we have that week of like drama, the vote, etc. Then we do it, and then we get to say, thanks everyone, great year, that's it, we'll see you in January. But that didn't really happen like it does normally. So no, I'm happy back in December. Hopefully this year we'll do it as it's supposed to be done.
Well, yeah, but you do remember that the reason why we didn't do it was because I went through a big operation.
I was going to say.
So, like, I mean, unless I've got to have another one at the end of this year, I think we're going to be all right.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, you might want to go back under.
Yeah. If I don't pop another fucking...
from needing more emergency surgery, Jesus Christ.
I've already had 2 hernias from fucking carrying you lot. Like, maybe if you up your games a bit, I won't have to have another one at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Right.
Okay. So, yeah, if you want to leave us feedback, go to tcgs.co/dear-tcgs.
Let's go to the news. James Farley.
This is actually one of the other reasons why I wish that we could have done it in December, the Game of the Year show, because I was so pumped for like all the news, to like do that last week, because there's so much has happened.
Yeah. What do you mean? You hate it when things happen because there's more stuff for you to read out.
I know, but now, okay, sure, it's even worse now because there's like fucking like a fuck ton of stuff to like go through and try and figure out, like, what's worth talking about, what isn't worth talking about. It's just more annoying, so it's made it annoying. Anyway, the PlayStation 4 lifespan has apparently been extended. So what they're doing is they're going to continue manufacturing this year as well. They were going to end it last year, but they're going to continue. And apparently they're hoping that this is going to alleviate pressure on the PS5 supplies because people may go for a cheaper PS4 instead.
How does that work? Because I
don't think that works.
Like, you're either getting a PS5 or you're not sitting there going, I can't get a PS5. I'll get a PS4 then instead. I mean,
you know what this is going to mean? It's going to mean more games are definitely going to come out on both machines, is the thing. Yeah. Because then people will just be like, I'll just get PS4, play it on that.
This is the only PlayStation available to buy right now.
And especially if they cut the price of the PS4 again, which they could, it could still do very well.
But what I'm saying is that, I mean, it's highly likely that if you really want to spend £450 on a new PlayStation, the chances are you've got a PS4, right? At this stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, but they can still...
I'm just thinking, it's... Because on the one hand, at least like with the Xbox, you've got that element of, the Series S being the choice for if you really haven't got the 450 quid or... you're just not sure if it's worth that investment, or you're buying a console for, a kid or a teenager or whatever, and you don't want to spend 450 quid, then fine. Like, you've got that option, whereas with the PS5, that option doesn't really exist.
No,
and the PS4 might be a tempting alternative, but then if you're in that situation, do you know what I mean? Like, the PS5 was never an option anyway, so...
I mean, the thing is, how much does the PS4 cost at the moment? Just like a regular standard one?
I mean, on Amazon, I can't even find one in stock.
What, a PS4?
Yeah, the 1 terabyte one that's out, that's gone. Some white one isn't in stock. Oh my god, there's gonna be whole accounts now saying if you want to get your PS4, quick, go.
Yeah, you get bots. You want a PS4? It's going to be £600 on eBay.
The reason I'm thinking this is because, with the PS1 and the PS2, they released, they kept cutting the price of that, didn't they? Until it got down to, nearly 100 quid. And they were still selling them. And so maybe they could go some other way.
Argos.com or .co.uk. The 500 gig PS4 is 250 quid.
So there's still a long way to go with that.
Get
it could go down in price.
If someone comes up to you, James, and says, should I get a 500 gig PS4 or a Series S for the same price?
Well, obviously, I'd recommend the Series S, but then there are people that are going to be like, yeah, but I want to play Horizon or whatever, and
Really?
Well,
okay.
Come on. Of course there's going to be people that are going to want to play that game, David.
Really?
Of course there will.
Okay.
Yeah, people really like Horizon.
Yeah.
All I've got to do is say really, and James has a meltdown.
I mean, on Amazon, a 1 terabyte PS4 Pro is 370 quid.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Why? That's a lot, isn't it?
That's bizarre.
Yeah, weird. Okay, fine.
So next is that Take-Two are going to buy Zynga for $12.7 billion, apparently.
Remember them? Zynga? Hadn't they already been bought by someone else? Weren't they owned by... Who are they owned by currently?
They're not. They're just Zynga.
They're not? Okay. And Zynga are the ones that do the mobile games, right?
Yeah, they do Farmville, Words with Friends, and all that sort of stuff.
They branched out bit, haven't they?
You're mentioning franchises back from like 2009 or something.
Yeah,
they're the ones that are in the article, Matt. It's yeah.
What are the more recent ones, Matt?
I don't know. I don't play
Farmville 3. They've also done. Didn't they? They did or are doing that Star Wars fucking hero shooter that actually looks okay. I think that's them.
Oh, were they?
I think so. Maybe I'm making.
Do you know what? It's one of the most boring acquisition stories of all time, isn't it? It's like okay.
As soon as I hear Zynga, I just think Don Matrick is
it's
still there.
No, he left
he's not there.
about 10 years ago.
He only lasted there about 3 months, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was like
he ran them into the ground and then he was gone. It's like
a bit like Rafa Benitez.
12.7 billion isn't exactly running them into the ground, is it?
No, they were doing not so well after he joined. But
okay.
But anyway, the reason that Take-Two are buying them is because they want to create games like mobile games based on their franchises, and they think that Zynga are in a better position to do that, like with GTA and Borderlands and stuff like that.
Yeah, a mobile GTA, I mean, like online and all that sort of stuff just makes so much sense, doesn't it? I could see them doing that at some point.
They also made the Game of Thrones slots casino.
Oh, there you go.
That's the real reason they're getting bought, isn't it?
Yeah. That's where the money is.
This makes sense. I mean, Zynga obviously massively popular in mobile. This makes full sense. Just rather than like struggling for Take-Two to do it themselves, just buy the biggest company that does it and then just do it that way.
Do you want to hear what Zynga said about this?
Really? Not really, but go on.
Okay. Combining Zynga's expertise in mobile and next-generation platforms with Take-Two's best-in-class capabilities and intellectual property will enable us to further advance our mission to connect the world through games while achieving significant growth and synergies together.
Oh, synergies.
I was with them until I said
Fucking
synergies.
There's the synergies.
Yeah. It's Star Wars Hunters, by the way. I don't know if anyone's seen like the trailer for this. It does actually look pretty good. But, yeah.
Okay. Next story is that Mario Kart 9 is in active development, apparently. And this is, according to gamesindustry.biz, Mario Kart 9 is going to feature a new twist, and it's going to be ready to be shown by the end of this year.
Did you see that headline that someone put up? Like it was a notification or whatever, and it was it was supposed to say with a new twist, analysts like a ... analysts, but it cut off at anal.
Yeah,
it's so stupid. It still makes me laugh, that stuff. Look, I think you know, if you were to say, and there's a new Mario Kart in development, you go, well, obviously the important and interesting aspect of this story is how far away is it?
Yeah.
Like is it going to come to Switch or is it going to come to their next thing?
See, that's what I was wondering, because there's never been like 2 Mario Kart games on the same console generation ever. They've never done that before.
Through this is the Wii U one, isn't it?
On this one neither.
Yeah. Technically a remaster.
It's like saying, well, there's 2 on the Switch already. There's 3 on the Switch currently.
But I think,
there's the Wii U one, there's the N64 one, and the SNES one on the Switch at the moment.
But I think in general we can confidently say the Wii U doesn't count as like a console.
Doesn't it?
Change?
The Wii U was a great console.
It was, but it doesn't count.
It
wasn't. It was a terrible console. I'm more likely to agree with James than that. Like, it was a
great console. It had Mario Kart 8 on it.
It did. Oh no! Look. If you were to say, were there good games on the Wii U, I would say yes. If you were to say, was the Wii U a great console, I would say no.
Yeah,
absolutely
Take
not.
Your point.
And that instantly happened the moment I tried to use the fucking pad on the toilet. It was like, oh, you're more than a metre away. So I sort of tapped out on that one. Hey, you got another screen? Oh yeah, what can I use it for? Just like a map and that. Just put a map on
Inventory,
that.
baby.
Yeah.
It's just a map, not even the inventory. It's just the map, really, wasn't it, for most games?
Do you remember the Batman game where it was like, on the Wii U version, he can make himself electric?
Yeah, I love that shit. Well, it got to the point where I was playing games on the Wii U and I looked down at the pad while I was playing it and it just had the word pause with a button around it. Was it on Mario Kart 8? It was just a horn.
It was just a horn,
it's a steering wheel, wasn't it?
I mean, what's funnier, that or the fact that towards, the end of the 3DS's life, like most games just didn't even support 3D anymore. They just stopped bothering.
Yeah.
I was like, the slider must be down. Oh, no, it doesn't.
I still mourn that, because that was good. Like, when it worked, it was very good.
Mourn it?
Yeah.
Mourn it. You go out there into your garden.
Wearing black.
Like
a candle.
Yeah.
The new
Set one of those
3DS.
paper lanterns off.
The new 3DS with
Lighting
the
a
3D
candle.
that worked, it was good.
Yeah, but it tracked your eyes. That was really good.
It was really good.
3D was shit, though, wasn't it? Do you remember when all the TVs come out? And it was you go around someone's house and they go, look, I've got 3D TV.
Put these
Put the
glasses
on.
Why is it all so dark?
How long do you think it's going to be until they do that again? Because TVs, they're going to do it again, aren't they, at some point? Because it feels like it's about every 5-10 years
I don't know, because
again.
the next few gimmicks for TV, obviously HDR, TVs are being sold on that basis, and then in a couple of years it'll be 8K, surely.
It'll be 8K, 60K, and
8K, 120 hertz, wasn't it? Is the current push?
Yeah. So there's all sorts of gimmicks they can fling at us before 3D makes a comeback.
I know, but you see, I think like 3D is one of those things that the consumer can get behind as like understanding it better than things like HDR and like 8K and things. It's
true. No, you're right.
Because the next 3D will be glassesless 3D, which will be interesting.
That's the biggie, isn't it? Because that was the worst thing about 3D, was having to put the glasses on and then everything looked a bit darker and you'd be like, oh, I think I might take them off. Is that all right? So, yeah.
I'd love to know how popular 3D films are in cinemas, because I just haven't seen one in cinema for ages. I just go straight to 2D now.
I'm generally not a fan.
I watched Ready Player One in 3D, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that came out about 5 years ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago, wasn't it?
Was that 5 years ago?
But it's a vision of the future, James.
Yeah.
It's what it's all going to be like, yeah.
It was a vision of a horrible future. One that Mark Zuckerberg is trying to make true. It's just...
You could be Crash Bandicoots, James. Are you not excited about that?
Yeah, Ready Player One came out in 2018.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay, all right.
Anyway,
well, that's not 5 years ago, though, is it, Matt?
This unique, this new twist. I'm going to say planes or whatever.
Oh, I don't know what it's going to be.
Could be planes or whatever.
Well, don't gliders.
No,
what? Have they not
planes?
gliders,
yeah. They didn't have planes. Okay. No, Diddy Kong Racing had planes, didn't it?
Exactly,
yeah. I don't count, though.
And hovercraft.
It's not canon.
No, they can't do planes. Planes would be boring, wouldn't they?
It's a new twist.
It would be, it's not that new, though, is it?
Yeah.
It's a twist.
Also, it kind of completely ruins the whole thing with Mario Kart. I think adding, like, verticality to it is gonna kids can't. You don't want to make it tougher for kids.
No.
I think I wouldn't mind it like another look at double dash, triple dash. What about that? 3 of them on that fucker.
That was all right. I quite like double dash. I don't know why everyone hated it.
I like double dash as well, mate. I thought it was great. Yeah.
Has racing with aeroplanes ever been fun? I can't think, because I feel like even in Diddy Kong Racing, the bits where you were flying were just kind of like, oh well, I'll just get through this before I do actually exciting racing bits again.
That did the best job of it, though, right? Diddy Kong Racing, like if you were to say, it was still fun.
Sonic and All Star Racing Transformed, decent as well. But again, I've just felt like the flying bits were sort of quite fun, but there was no actual. Like at no point did I feel like I was like battling for position or whatever. It's just like, oh, we're flying now, I guess.
And when you hit another vehicle, it was like one of the worst things ever to happen in your entire life. Slowly going down to the ground. My word.
Yeah.
James, true. Go. New twist. Go, James, go. Quickly.
Oh, no, don't do this to me. I don't know.
Go, a new twist.
Submarines.
We've already
been Steel Diver.
Yeah,
it's going to be Mario Kart. Yeah, they don't need submarines, do they? They can actively drive underwater with no problem whatsoever.
Submarines are super slow.
Something else, James.
I'll tell you what, James. If you can't think of a gimmick, can you at least give us the subtitle, please?
No, I can't do that. I can't do it just off the top of my head. I just can't.
Yes, you can. You always do it.
That's when you do your best work.
Come on, Mario Kart.
Mario Kart 9, :
I can't think of something. Steelhaven. There you go.
Yes! There he is!
Perfect. Steelhaven.
You still got
Someone get that drawn up.
I don't even know what that means.
Someone get that drawn up. Oh, Mario Kart 9 Steelhaven. All right, what's the next news story?
Okay, so E3 have now ruled out a physical show this year. It's not happening.
Oh, for fuck.
Yeah, they said, I mean, this is the quote. They said, due to the ongoing health risks surrounding COVID-19 and its potential impact on the safety of exhibitors and attendees, E3 will not be held in person in 2022. We remain incredibly excited about the future of E3 and look forward to announcing more details soon.
I was surprised to see a lot of people saying, talking doom and gloom around E3 because of this.
So weird, wasn't it?
But I just thought, well, of course they're not doing a physical event this year. The numbers are still all over the shop. Like, it just, I don't know, it made sense to me.
And I remember thinking, they did a digital one last year as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Why is everyone saying this is the death of E3? What a weird reaction to this
I
news
fully
story.
get it. Like, I know a lot of journalists were, looking forward to actually going to an E3 this year. I think, a lot of them missed it last year. But for, people like me for whom that was never an option, I'm just like, yeah, all right, whatever. I don't know.
I mean, this came out and then Jeff Keighley quickly tweeted that Summer Games Fest was returning.
I bet he did.
Yeah. Within minutes of that.
Yeah.
I just hope, obviously last year, every possible publisher and developer did one of these because they're testing out, seeing if it worked. I would like them to slim the numbers down somewhat this year.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that makes me glad that I'm not watching this year because that was so awful watching some of those things. I mean, they were so terrible. Like a lot of them, complete waste of time.
I'm really. The thing is though, like I am determined this year because last year I still watched like most of it. But I just didn't take any fucking notes. And it would be really nice that, like, this year to just be like, yeah, I know there's way too much, but here's the highlights, right? It's just a few trailers for you to go look at from each one. I think that would actually be a useful service. So I'm going to try and do that this year.
There's no time to take notes when we're live. We're talking over all the 43 conferences.
It's true.
I'm looking forward to E3 this year. I think it'll be fine. But yeah, as you say, some of the reactions were just odd. It was just so odd. It's like they've forgotten last year's E3 already.
I don't think there will be an in-person E3 anymore. I think after the second, they do this year, they're like, okay, there's probably even less reason to even go back. Why would we go back to do in-person?
Because they make loads of money, don't they? That's one of the reasons they do it.
But then how much money do they make just running it as an online thing?
Probably nowhere near as much.
Not as much money as when you're also factoring in
all the food and all that
that
stuff
they have with hotels, foods, all of that stuff.
But do the costs of running it as a physical event not shoot up as well versus an online thing? So
I would assume it's still. I mean, who knows? But my prediction would be the moment they're able to confidently do a physical show, they will at least try it.
Yeah.
And
because they've had all these ideas, all these ideas 4 years ago, they've not been able to do yet. Supposedly,
I was exactly. I was tweeting around the time of this announcement that it was like, I'd just be gutted if it went. I'm sorry. It, the little individual things they do are all right. Nintendo, Sony, and I'm a little bit pissed off that Sony have just seemed to have completely ditched E3 now because Summer Games Fest or whatever, but that's spread out. But knowing that there's 3 days where we're going to get major announcements from Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, that excitement is just gone at the moment. And I want it back. I want to look forward to those 3 days.
But we still get that. We have the 3 days of conferences like we always have, but the show's obviously after them anyway, and that's when we get little previews. But
I don't care about the show because we don't go to that. I've got no interest in the show. What I've got interest in are those 3 days of intense marketing, and we don't get that. And we haven't had that for about 3 years, ever since Sony pulled out of it. And all right, towards the end, it got a bit shit. We'll all remember the Sony conference where they had a tent and then did
weird.
20 minutes behind a desk. We'll all always remember Nintendo talking about Smash Brothers for 28 minutes.
Fuck, man.
But that's part of it, I guess.
Yeah,
I like the flute guy. The flute guy was brilliant with the
Yeah, Sony pulled out, and like EA were doing their own things as well. Like
but at least EA were doing it like a day before E3 started, so it was within that period. Like even if E3 goes away, if the big three plus say, some of the companies like EA get together and say, all right, we ain't doing E3, but let's pick a week period where we just belt these out one day after the other together, because they need to drum up that excitement where everyone's paying attention and not just saying.
I think Sony proved they don't. Sony weren't even at E3 last couple of years, and they're still like the biggest search term. Like they don't have to be withholden to a certain date where. All the devs and everyone are pulling together. They can do whatever they want when they want, and they still get all the eyes on it. So Sony proved you don't have to.
You're completely missing the point. Of course they can do what they want, but it's not as exciting for the consumer, is it?
It's not as exciting for us who have loved E3 since day one, but I can see why his company's like, well, hang on. I mean, why are we killing ourselves to get something done?
I don't give a shit what the companies
day?
think. As a fan of video games, I think it's better to have those intense 3 days of it. Everyone knows when those 3 days are. They all know that there's going to be one news conference after the other. Like, as a fan of video games, I think it's way better than spreading it out. All right, okay, Sony can do what they want. Who gives a fuck what Sony want? Like, I'm talking about us here. Do you know what I mean? The best gamers on the internet, Matt.
I won't worry too much, Dave, because
once
Microsoft have bought every other studio like this year, it'll be fine because they'll all be at their show.
They'll all be on that one. Yeah. Yeah, it will be just one. The Game Pass conference is on. That's 7 hours long. Okay, right. Well, I'll watch that one.
But there's no point watching it because everything's free anyway. It'll just turn up on your console one day. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true.
Play it for 5 minutes. See what you think.
I miss it. I miss what it was.
Oh, I massively miss it. I mean, I miss when Sony were doing their 2 a.m. shows. That was part of the fun. Staying up to 2 a.m. to. Everyone frantically typing out tweets or in a Skype chat or on Discord, like, oh my god, they fucking announced the Twisted Metal.
I like the morning after when you're just like, I used to wake up and be like, what's the feedback? And it was always like, oh, did you see that? Like, that wasn't worth staying up for.
But that's half the fun. I mean, Sean and I always used to stay up. That's half being there in the moment. That's what I used to love.
Yeah. Plus,
I'm more like you, James.
With it being a physical event. Sorry, Dave, come on.
No, it's like when you're watching something on TV and you're like, oh, if you're watching something that's going out live on TV, me and Joe now will go, when does it start? 9. Okay, let's start watching it at 9:15 and we could just fast forward the adverts. It's like that. Sorry, Sean.
I was just going to say, the other nice thing about it being a physical event was obviously you'd have the conferences, but then you would also, journalists that you would be there actually playing things, and, there might be games that didn't look amazing in a conference or whatever, but then people would actually play them and be like, look, here's a preview, this is actually really cool. Or, or things that weren't necessarily picked up in the conferences. So that was nice. And obviously that's not so much a thing. I mean,
yeah.
I presume there's going to be, I can't remember what they did last year, but presumably there's still going to be E3 preview builds of things going out to journalists and
yeah,
and stuff,
I assume
right?
so. I assume so. But you're right. There's nothing better than the 20 minutes after a Nintendo Direct at E3 or a Nintendo presentation at E3 where you come out of it going, that was brilliant, and then hear it, well, no, actually, it doesn't have batteries, and actually,
it's all the caveats come out.
There's a subscription model, but only one of you can have it in the household. That you can't buy it for more than one profile.
The best,
and it's £400.
The absolute best thing of that was the Wii U reveal when people were coming out and were just like, but what is it?
What controller? Is it a new controller? I think if I remember correctly, we were at Play Radio. Joypop was on Play Radio back then. And I think someone rung, and we were doing a show as the Nintendo conference was coming out, and someone rung up the radio show and just went, Nintendo have just done their conference, and I mean, they showed something off. I'm still not sure what it is. Yeah, that was weird.
Good times.
Okay.
Next story is that the Xbox Series X/S is are Microsoft's fastest selling Xbox console generation. So yeah, they've done very well. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like they've done really well. They've gone over 1 million in the UK, right?
Yeah,
which is pretty good. Considering all the supply constraints. I mean, again, I still stand by the fact that I don't think they really care how many of these consoles they're shifting. I mean, when you think about it, like, okay, it's all anecdotal and local to me or whatever, but I know a fair few kids that have an Xbox, don't have any of the new ones, but are still playing Game Pass games, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what they want people signed up to. But then I also know a load of kids that got the fucking Series S for Christmas, because why not? It's 250 quid and it's like an update and they don't have to shell out 450 quid for one of the big boys. It's yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they'd like to sell the hardware because also then they can get people off the original the Xbox One and everything, and then that may change game development a bit. You know, may improve things a bit.
Maybe, but I think they're more interested in keeping the number of subscriptions up, aren't they?
Yeah.
So that's what they're going for. I mean, they're adding PC games to like Game Pass, so you know people that play on Xbox haven't got access to those games. So I'm sure they won't have a problem releasing games just for the Series consoles. You know, at this point, it's just the way it is on Game Pass.
Yeah,
I will say, I mean, that there are 2 new Xboxes to buy, so it's interesting to use the term fastest selling. I mean, so it wasn't the most selling; it was just the fastest selling. Like, what does that really?
Yeah, it's always
fastest
a weird
to a
one,
certain
isn't it?
number. I mean, again, there was 2 of them, but I you know, it's good either way, even with all the supply constraints.
Yeah,
but it's quite vague.
Okay, next story is that PS3 games have started appearing on the PS5 store. So this is according to Video Games Chronicle. They've said that PS3 games have started appearing, and this is because they think that there's going to be, like, Sony are going to unveil like further backwards compatibility support for the PS5. And because apparently if you look at a PS3 game on the PS5 store, it should direct the player towards PlayStation Now, but instead of that, it displays a price. This is for like Dead or Alive 5. It was showing a price of like $7.99. And then
wasn't that the
I read that the prices they're showing are basically like the rental prices on PS Now or something, or
that's right. I heard it was debunked and it's been like that for ages.
No, these are more recent because apparently these appeared after there was a patent which was just discovered as well that was filed by Mark Cerny, which was titled it was backwards compatibility through the use of spoof clock and fine grain frequency control. And so the belief...
I'm not that old bollocks again.
So it's not just Dead or Alive. There was a couple of other games as well. There was like Prince of Persia games appeared on there and Bejeweled for some reason. I don't know why. But the general belief is that this is maybe part of the new service that Sony are supposedly working on at the moment, the Game Pass competitor. And that maybe they've sorted out backwards compatibility. I imagine this is probably still going to be through streaming, isn't it? Like, really? It's not going to be through... Like,
well, we don't know. So what was if you mentioned the next story, because I think it's related.
Yeah, so the other thing is that Sony are, as of when this podcast comes out, they're pulling the PlayStation Now cards from retail stores. So you can't buy, in the UK anyway, you won't be able to buy them. Sony have responded to this saying that they said globally we are moving from PlayStation Now gift cards to focus on our current cash denomination PlayStation gift cards, which can be redeemed for PlayStation Now. Instead. And yeah, but it does look a bit like maybe they're trying to get people not to subscribe to it. Not that that's a problem because hardly anyone has. But yeah.
Yeah, they're making shifts, aren't they? And I mean, Microsoft were making little shifts with their subscription, how you pay for their subscription service before they announce some stuff. So it looks like something's going on at Sony. And we know, do we know that for sure? Or are there rumours that
there's very strong rumours that there's something that's going to come in the spring that they're
like a multi-tiered service, isn't there?
One that will be just like, PlayStation Plus, then there'll be one that's got like, games included and, all that kind of stuff. So something that's probably going to be a lot more expensive than people are expecting and will be annoying. But yeah.
Okay. Oh, I mean, all I say is don't apply for a job at Sony PR.
Indication of that.
Fucking hell. Yeah, something that's going to be expensive and annoying.
Well, no, you know what it's going to be. It's going to be like it'll be like ridiculously expensive, and everyone will be like, this is too much.
Why do you say that, James? Like, people realise that cheap deals get consumers in, and then so surely they'll do something like that. I mean, they'll be mad not to.
Well, yeah, they would be mad not to, but then this is Sony and they do mad things all the time. It's
They do mad things all the time, to be fair. They do mad things all the time.
Okay, I've got a couple of quick updates as well.
IO
have announced the Hitman trilogy is coming out next week, and it's also coming to Xbox Game Pass. Like, they're going to put the whole thing digitally on there so you can play it, which is great.
Fucking yes.
Very good games. I'm going to play very good games.
Play the fucking lot all over again.
I was thinking about going back and streaming them because I've so much enjoyed 3. 3 was 100%. So good.
Yeah. Definitely do that, man. I mean, because I've got Hitman 3 on PC, which is cool, and I think it's getting like ray tracing support and stuff, so that'd be nice. Oh, and VR support as well, isn't it, Matt?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the whole trilogy is getting PC VR support.
Yeah, so that'll be very cool. But also playing it really easily on the big telly will be nice. So yeah, I've a feeling I'm going to be replaying a lot of it.
Okay.
Next.
Sorry, Dave.
Update.
Is that not? Seem unconvinced.
I know. Like, are you actually going to sit and play through them all again? That's what I'm wondering.
Just to do the highlights, maybe. Don't know.
All right. Okay.
Do me faves.
Okay.
Do you do the hits?
Yeah. Hitman hits.
Second quick update is that Take-Two may have hinted at GTA 6's planned release window. And
that sounds flaky as fuck. Go on.
Well, this is part... Okay, so as part of the announcement of the Zynga thing, the company has forecast that it's expecting an annual growth rate in 2024 of 14%. So then this led to analysts thinking that this is because there's going to be a major release in that fiscal year. And the guidance for that is that that equals 9 billion in consumer spending or something. And that means it's going to like that means it's so they're putting 2 and 2 together and saying that means it's a GTA 6 launch.
No, Rockstar Table Tennis 2, it's coming. It is so obvious.
This is 2024 though. That sort of goes in line with the rumours that we heard before, right? So we heard some rumours last year about GTA 6, and they said it's maybe 2 years away. So that sort of goes in line with that.
Well, apparently this happened the same before with GTA 5 as well. Like they did the same thing. Like it was, they were hinting that it was going to be at that, and it did come out at the right time. So maybe it will be.
Okay, well, fingers crossed. I mean, I'm bang up for a new GTA.
And I was thinking about this the other day. I'd love to play GTA again, but I don't really want to play 5. Just don't feel like it. Anyway,
really? Why? What do you mean?
Well, no, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It's just that it came out on 360. It just feels like I don't really want to go back to that. I'd like to play something new.
Can't believe James said GTA 5 is shit.
That's it. That is exactly what I said, Sean.
That's just what just happened.
Terrible game.
The thing is, though, James, we have had a new GTA on the past 3 generations of console now, right?
It's just been the same one.
If it applies for Mario Kart, it applies for GTA, James, all right?
Anyway.
Next news story.
Okay, there's a second, and this is in inverted commas, humour-based Quantic Dream AAA game in development.
Fuck off.
So apparently this is based on... They had a demo that was this thing called the Dark Sorcerer demo, which was... It was this 12-minute clip of a wizard casting dark magic spells, and then it's revealed...
It's PS3 thing, isn't it?
Was it? I don't know.
It was a tech demo, yeah.
And then it's like revealed that the whole thing is taking place on a film set, and then apparently that demo devolved into like a comedy sketch, and yeah, it's
brilliant.
Oh, I don't remember that bit. I thought it was just one of those talking head things that they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be a funny game. It's going to be a funny game from David Cage.
Great. Well, I can't wait to see how that works out.
Yeah.
His past 3 or 4 games weren't humour-based. Sorry, what?
Not intentionally.
We laughed a lot.
See, I think that David Cage doing intentional humour might be amazing. Like, it might be the funniest thing ever, like, unintentionally.
Well,
not convinced.
Let's put it this way. I know we're taking the easy way out. It's Quantic Dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know he's the head honcho at Quantic Dream, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's sitting down at the moment writing knock-knock jokes. I think,
if only he was.
I would like to read those knock-knock jokes, I ain't gonna lie.
Press triangle for knock, press circle for knock.
It's humour-based. Who wrote that, though? What a weird...
I don't know.
It's humour-based. Why wouldn't they just call it a comedy game or comedic game or something like that? It's humour-based, this one. love that it's got a foundation of humour.
Television programs are my favourite type of.
A stand-up humour-based human is my favourite type of human, I think.
We should say, because we did get some feedback about this, it's very easy to take the piss out David Cage for just being shit. But the whole the abuse stuff hasn't really gone away. I mean,
no, it hasn't.
Wasn't it late last year they sort of won because they tried to sue the newspapers for libel, didn't they?
Yeah,
and apparently they won one of those and didn't win the other. But in neither case have they actually disproven that the abuse took place. So that's still hanging over them, and they really need to fucking address it. But
that's also, I mean, there's an update on Star Wars Eclipse as well, which is related to that. Because apparently...
Because there was a whole sort of online protest, wasn't there? People saying, basically, don't let Quantic Dream do it. I imagine it's probably too late to take that decision back at this point. But yeah, that was a whole thing.
Star Wars Eclipse is being made at Quantic Dream Paris, and it says apparently David Cage is very much involved with the project, so that's great. It's apparently 3 to 4 years away minimum, and the reason for this is because Quantic Dream Paris is currently struggling to hire staff, and it's like, I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Yeah, terrible.
Okay.
Christ.
Last one is that Microsoft have confirmed that the Xbox One production ended in 2020. They've stopped making them. They're done with it, basically.
Makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, if they didn't have a really cheap console on the market, it totally makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, true. Because I was going to say, because this is interesting, because you remember, it feels like back in the day, you'd hear that the PS2's finally finished production 7 years into the PS3 being out, and it was like, fucking hell, they were still making them. Whereas now, it feels like that cut off is much more swift. But then, as you say, when there is a legitimate, budget version of the newer console, why not?
And I mean, some people don't like it, but the transition between generations, they've clearly taken a new direction for this.
Yeah.
So
I think it's more personally down to the fact that Xbox One was just, a cursed generation from minute one. If this was still, fondly looked back at, and I mean, it's got the library, it's got great games, but if it was Xbox One was a great console, great generation, then maybe they would have just said, here's a 90 quid or 100 quid version, but especially because the Xbox One can do the xCloud and some Game Pass stuff, but I think they just want it gone as soon as they can.
It's like they did with the original Xbox, didn't they? Where they just killed that as quickly as possible for the 360, but then the 360 they kept remodeling and bringing out cheaper ones.
But then at least with the original Xbox, there would have at least been a preservation argument, whereas with the Xbox One, I don't think there is, because is there anything that the Xbox One could run that the Series consoles can't?
Only Kinect stuff.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Only Kinect stuff, and no one wants to preserve that stuff.
Yeah. Did you know, I only recently found out, apparently, Kinect has done amazingly well, but just not as a gaming thing. Apparently it's done really well for like medical research and stuff. Apparently there's loads of industries that use it, and it's technically on paper has been really successful. It's just gaming was the wrong thing to pitch it for.
Swiping left and right on things.
Yeah, well, it was also because the Kinect that we got was hopelessly underpowered, wasn't it?
It was imagine if you plug it into a supercomputer, it's probably quite a bit better.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I will say this, I was in CEX this weekend, and behind the counter they had an Xbox One X, and I looked at it and just went, that was the turning point for Microsoft away from that shitty generation. Right. That console was beautiful, it ran like a dream, and it was really powerful. That was the moment there. It was such a good little console, that thing.
Oh yeah, I love my One X.
But even
it was like I hadn't had an Xbox One before that. It was so different.
Yeah. It was such a big step forward.
Even the One S was a nicer looking console as well, like the white one. Yeah,
it was
great when they redesigned.
Okay, is that it for the news?
That is it. Yeah, I've got nothing else.
Right. Okay, let's do our predictions before you get to what you've been playing. Now, I have taken clips from the first episode of 2021. They're only small clips of our predictions, and I made sure that I got the right bit of audio for where we confirmed what our predictions were. We're going to see how we got on, and these are just listed out in alphabetical order in front of me, which isn't massively helpful. But we'll start with me. How did I get on with my predictions? This was my first one.
Right, so my first prediction is GTA 6 announcement.
Damn. Okay, no point for me there. I thought that. I still think
only like 4 years early, but
yeah, it's a shame. My second prediction was.
All right, Mario Odyssey 2 announced.
That was, if you remember, a very controversial one because Matt stole that one for his E3 prediction, which was absolutely disgraceful.
Oh, you don't own it?
No, I don't own it, but it's a bit weird that you would listen to me make a prediction at the start of the year and go, I'll have that for the E3 one. Like,
no rules against it?
Like, no, there's no rules against it. I'm not saying, it's just a bit like, get your own ideas, mate. You know, use your own head for these things. Don't just copy off Dave. Don't just copy off Dave.
Mint your predictions as NFTs, though.
I do. I absolutely do. Yeah, Matt will fucking buy them. That's what he's like. Right, okay, and my last prediction was...
So I'm going to put, there's a major issue with the DualSense that Sony will have to address.
That didn't happen either. So 0 points for Davey T.
I've heard about a lot of them breaking, but it's not been like a scandal, has it? It's just
not like a red ring
scandal
thing, is it?
Well, Sony haven't addressed it, have they? So nowhere near. James, you're up next. Are you ready?
I'm really scared because I don't remember any of these.
I mean, Dave's absolutely fucked his, so I'm
yeah, mine are almost certainly even more ridiculous.
My first prediction.
Right, okay, sorry, I pressed play by accident. Are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
My first prediction is that Anthem 2.0 is not going to come out in 2021.
Hey!
I'll say this. How did we let him have that?
Because Matt was so convinced that it was going to happen, and it was,
That's a point for James.
That's great.
What was your second one, James?
Sony are going to release their own Game Pass service, like in the same, similar to Microsoft's one. But the games it will contain will be the ones that are currently on PlayStation Now that are PS4 games. Because at the moment on PlayStation Now you can play games from PS2, PS3, and PS4. So I reckon that they'll just only have PS4 games, and then the other sweetener will be that they'll offer discounts for first-party games, like new first-party games that are coming out.
What a weirdly specific
that didn't happen.
If you remember correctly, we quickly locked him in after saying that, and then he realised that actually they could release like PS5 games from third-party developers on it, and just went, I made the mistake there, didn't I? I didn't think about it. I should have mentioned that. We went, yeah, you should have mentioned that. Anyway, you're locked in. No points for that, James, I'm afraid, but let's hear what your final one was.
Okay, I think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to slip to 2022.
Ooh.
There we go.
Oh my
2 points for James.
This is normally none of us get any. Normally we get 0 points, but James has got 2. That's amazing.
James has got 2 out of 3, mate. 2 out of 3. Matt Murray, you're up.
Oh dear.
My first prediction is that Halo Infinite will be delayed till 2022.
Oh, Matt.
Unlucky.
So close.
That did not happen.
Yeah.
Just like 3 weeks away. Half a point?
Second one. No, not half a point.
Okay. I think there'll be a brand new Naughty Dog franchise revealed in 2021.
Oh, again, not even a hint of anything from Naughty Dog other than what they're doing. They're redoing the Uncharted, are they, or something?
I don't know.
Does that count?
Nah.
Absolutely not. Last one.
Microsoft buys Konami.
Konami.
They didn't buy Konami either.
No, I think they did buy Konami. It's like a very unknown kind of UX UI company. They bought Konami.
No points for that. Sean, can you challenge James? And I must say, this first one is a controversial one.
No.
So I think this year, all we will see of the new Metroid is just like a little teaser trailer, like the Breath of the Wild 2 one. And then everyone will be like, fuck's sake, is that it? And Nintendo will just be completely shocked that everyone was expecting to see a bit more.
Okay, we need to solid this. I'll make it a little bit more solid. You're saying we will see one trailer and it won't show any gameplay. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it'll just be cutscenes.
Right.
That's tough, isn't it?
So obviously, I was talking about Prime 4. But we did get a whole new Metroid game.
Not only did we see a full trailer of the new Metroid, it was released and we all played it.
a new Metroid game. Let's take the out of it. A new Metroid game. We saw a trailer for and got a new one. That's not the one. But I wasn't specific, was I? Wasn't fucking specific.
Should we confer?
But I mean, how could I have possibly been referring to one that we didn't know existed at the time?
Did they show?
You go away, Sean.
Didn't they show a trailer of like a not a trailer, but like a logo for Metroid Metroid Prime?
Hold on. Whoa! That might be a completely irrelevant point. Have we seen any cutscenes from the new Metroid?
No, I've not seen any cutscenes, but we've definitely seen when did they show that logo? Was it this year? Or last year, rather.
Last year, you know.
It was 2019 when we had the
update.
They
didn't show anything. Let me just listen. Let's listen again. Do you specifically say we will see one trailer? Let's listen.
So I think this year, all we will see of the new Metroid is just like a little teaser trailer, like the Breath of the Wild 2 one.
Yeah, no, so it's we didn't see that.
Yeah, we've not even had that.
Yeah, it's totally irrelevant what Metroid you were talking about because we didn't see that. So no point for Sean there. Sean,
I'm sure the other two will be fine. Go
on. Right, okay. Do you know what? Right, this is probably too flimsy, but here goes.
I should point out this is 30 seconds long. This one.
So I think E3 is going to be back in some form, probably just an online only thing. But I think they're going to absolutely smash it, and I think we're all going to turn around and go, "Do you know what? I miss it, and I'm glad it's back." And
it's too loose, but. If you can name officially major companies that are going to attend or be part of
the big three,
all big three are going to be involved with whatever the next E3 is.
Throwing all my chips in, Dave.
And I shouldn't have. Turns out throwing all your chips in not always a good idea. I mean that's a no, isn't it? Purely because Sony weren't there.
It is a no. Right? Okay, no. Sean, you've got one more to rest on. Do you know which one this is?
I have no idea.
Cheers. Fuck it, it's been a few years. I think this year we're going to see the reveal of a new Armored Core game.
So none of us got points apart from James, who got 2 out of 3.
Jesus Christ.
Out of 3, James.
Killed it.
The soothsayer.
However, I will say this, because we're going to make our 2022 predictions now. And when I was sitting down trying to write up my 2022 predictions, I thought, oh man, James smashed it this year. Like for 2021, he got 2 of his predictions right. Mm-hmm. I would rather get none and go for something crazy than get 3 right that's just like, that's coming out, that's not coming out. You know what I mean? Like that's it's such a, like, fair play, James, you won. I'm not taking that away from you. But if I come out with some crazy shit and it's right, isn't that going to be like more impressive when they were listening to these clips next year? So that's my thought process for this year. Like I'm going for slightly off the wall ones. All right. So that's what I'm going for.
Because
James, I mean,
I know, but okay, when we do these predictions, they have to be accepted by all of us. And mine were accepted by all of us as being they're fine.
Oh, totally. Look, I'm not saying that it wasn't a worthy victory, mate. You got 2 out of 3 right, which is absolutely insane. Like that's crazy. I guess what I'm doing is just trying defending what I'm about to say.
Yeah. What Dave's saying, James,
I've got written down in front of me,
is if you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll be among the stars. Yeah. That's what he's saying.
We've all got Instagram. Okay, so the order we went in last time was James, Matt, me, Sean. I think I might have got James and Matt mixed up. This year we're going in reverse order. So I'm going first, then Sean, then Matt, then James.
I thought you just said I was last year.
I was last year.
Okay,
definitely. Because did I just say that you were? I mean, you could go first if you want.
No,
it doesn't really matter because it's any order really.
No, it's
Sean,
fine. Go on.
You go first. No, you go first. You go first. Oh, you're going first, are you? Okay,
I'll go first. Yeah, cheers. Hold that door for me, thank you. That's me just I think we will not see any official price drops for the next gen consoles throughout 2022.
there is no way I'm letting you have that.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, because there's no way they will, because there'll still be supply constraints.
Yeah, why would they drop the price?
That's why I predicted it, because I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, but yeah, I know, but that's not. They've got to be like.
You don't understand, Sean. You're not supposed to make a prediction that you think's going to come true. You're supposed to just say random shit.
No, they could be. No. Great, no, that's wrong, right? You can say a prediction that you think's going to come true, but it's got to be like. I mean, you can't play it that safe that it's more likely to happen than not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no way they're going to be reducing prices when they're hard to get hold of.
That's what I mean. We did that last time as well.
I'm trying to think if there's any stipulations we can add to spice it up.
Good. They're going to put the price up.
I mean, no. Well, we'll come back to that. I'll do my second one now, and I'll see if I can think of something else. I think that James will not fit his bathroom light before November 2022.
Good prediction. I like that.
And you may think, but Sean, surely by predicting that, he's going to try and prove you wrong, but I don't know.
He will forget next week.
So these don't have to be gaming predictions then. This can just be anything. Is that right?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, well, if they're funny. James, have you got a fixing in your bathroom yet?
No.
A light fixing?
But I did make moves today to get an electrician. So...
Okay, all right. He made moves, which means he Googled electrician in German.
Yeah. Maybe I'll forget it.
Okay, that's a good prediction. I think that's locked in.
Cool.
Okay, my first one is Xbox will release a Series S in at least one new colour.
I was thinking about this kind of thing. That's
interesting.
Interesting.
They will. They'll announce a new colour for the Series S that you can purchase.
Just the Series S, not the X as well?
No, I think no. They'll just focus on the Series S. I mean, they may release the X in a new colour, but that's not part of my prediction. Series S, new colour this year, I reckon.
I'd let you have that, because I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, all right.
I mean, they've obviously focused on controllers. They have done limited edition consoles.
That's true.
In the past.
Yeah. Oh, that does not count. So if they release a Series S with that specifically with game branding on it, that doesn't count. I will say that it's got to be. You can buy a Series S in a different colour as just a different colour.
It's got to be like iPods, as in there's loads of different...
Might have something on it or whatever. It might have something on it, but they're not going... If they release Forza and a special edition Series S Forza with Forza plastered over it, that does not count. Because they've already done that with the X, haven't they? They released the Halo one and stuff. Yeah,
okay,
I'm not interested in that. I'm literally saying that they will go, you can now buy Series S in red or blue. That sort of thing. I can see that happening. But
yeah, you can have that.
Right, cheers, Matt? Or James? Who was it? It was Matt, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Matt.
Okay, I'm going to say Microsoft to have its own exclusive Marvel or DC superhero game.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that's a good, solid prediction.
Yeah. Right.
Their own exclusive Marvel or DC.
Yeah, well, okay, their own exclusive superhero game. Like, obviously, PlayStation got Spider-Man. Switch has got nothing. Yeah, I reckon Microsoft are desperate for something like that on their own platform exclusively.
Okay. All right. Okay, fine. So Marvel or DC, though, it just can't just be a superhero game, though, right?
No, it'll be from one of them for sure.
Right, okay, sure.
All right, unavoidable.
I put money on it being Batman. That would make sense. But anyway.
Yeah, but I just think if you're selling a Batman game, you'll want that on the PlayStation as well, won't you? I can't see them going exclusive to Microsoft for that.
Do you reckon it'd be like a rubbish DC person then?
What's that?
Do you reckon it'd be like a rubbish DC character then that nobody wants anyway?
Calendar Man.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. What's the worst?
What
would be the funniest, James?
So is my prediction locked in?
Yeah, I think
so.
I mean, I was thinking, let's find a rubbish DC character. Obviously, The Rock is Black Adam. I'm not sure when that comes out, probably next year or so. But, some of The Rock's films, Dwayne Johnson's films have been terrible, like Baywatch and Poignant. probably another one, and then others have been like hugely successful. So I think it'd be too much a risk to say, yeah, we'll get an exclusive game based on the Rock's DC character Black Adam. We'll hope it's a good one. Too much of a risk.
That doesn't mean the character's bad though. It just means the film's bad.
No, but like putting all your eggs in that, and then suddenly the film's turned out to be a massive turd. It's
okay,
DC need a biggie.
I see, because the way I view it, you're locked in. The way I view it is that all superhero games want to be on everything, but it just so happens that don't Sony own Spider-Man? So that's the only reason why you wouldn't see that on the other consoles. I can't see it happening.
But I just think Microsoft want, obviously Guardians, lots of people are quite fond of it. I don't know how it's sold. Let's assume it's sold well. But I just think Microsoft desperately need their own version of Spider-Man for their console.
Well, this is why people thought that they were going to buy like Warner Brothers, wasn't it? So then they get all those games, but probably they won't. Anyway, can I do mine?
Go on.
You can.
There you go.
My first one is Randy Pitchford is going to show off a new Duke Nukem game at Summer Games Fest. It's going to go down badly.
Yep.
Lock in.
Brilliant.
All the way.
That's a great prediction, James. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Duke Nukem returns 2022.
And loads of people will be like, "Oh my, he's back!" Like, yeah, he's been back once, and look how that went.
And do you know, and I bet it'll go down really poorly as well, like the trailer. It'll be really badly judged.
Do you think it'll be like, "Oh, this doesn't have your PC woke humour in it"?
Yeah, it will just be just like that. Yeah,
wildly misjudged. Okay, go on, Sean.
So to turn the traditional prediction on its head, so we have seen screenshots of a new Armored Core game.
Oh God, go on.
I think we'll get a trailer this year, but I don't think it's coming out this year.
Every year is it going to be Armored Core based?
Until this one comes out, yeah.
Right, hold on.
I mean, we've seen screenshots now, so we know.
Yeah, I don't think we could have that either, Sean.
Oh, fuck's
sake. If we've seen screenshots.
Yeah. I think if you said if this show was recorded 2 weeks ago before these leaked screenshots, and we're like, yeah, you can have that one. But now we've seen the screenshots, not the survey.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't think it's coming out this year.
So is a prediction the fact that so the prediction is there won't be an Armored Core game this year?
Yeah, but I think we will get a trailer.
I see, because I feel bad because we rejected his first one, but I think if that was his first one, I think I would vote to reject it.
It's no different to ones we've done previously.
I know.
No,
James?
I'll let him have it. It's fine.
Matt?
I think that's... I don't think we could. I mean, we've seen screenshots. A lot of games will be announced will not come out this year, given where we are in the world. But do we want to nail it down a bit more?
Go on. How does he nail it down a bit more?
Does it? Okay, where does it have to come out? Like, does it have to come out globally, or
as it? Well, I was going to say, if I throw in that I think it'll be PS5 exclusive.
Okay,
purely to upset myself.
That spices it up a little bit.
Oh, I like that spice.
New Armored Core trailer, but not released. Yeah. PS5 exclusive. Yeah. I think that spices it up enough.
Yeah, good. I think
we're there. We're there with that.
Cool.
I think it's being PS5 because I think you're probably on nail on the head there as well. I think that makes sense.
My second prediction is Nintendo will announce a revised Switch Lite.
Revised in what sense? Well, like an OLED version, or
I don't want to have to buy another one. This is like
you don't have to, James. You didn't have to buy the last 6.
I don't know how it will be revised, but it will be more significant than just. It'll be more significant than just it's got better battery. I think there will be something a little bit more significant. Whether it'll have the full OLED screen or not, I don't know. That would be the obvious, right?
I don't think they'll do that because they want to differentiate
Switch
that.
Lite OLED. Yeah, but they're just filling gaps, aren't they?
Yeah.
Think of the amount of people that would like this, like a Switch Lite with an OLED screen. I think that's possible, but I'm just going to say a revised Switch Lite.
I'd let you have this because I think it's really unlikely that they do that.
Okay.
I mean,
do
you think they'll revise it by adding a HDMI port to it?
I'm not.
No, they won't do that. But you're saying this is going to be like a substantial revision, right? Not just better battery, right? It's got to be something more substantial than that.
It's got to be something more substantial than better battery, yes.
Okay.
Then I'll say, yeah, it's fine.
What does Matt and Sean say?
Yeah, no, I'm alright with that.
Yeah, you can have that one.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
Nice one. I got that through.
Yeah.
Very straightforward. Matt.
I think this year Microsoft will sell their Game Pass stick with a controller kind of bundle thing. It's like another way to get into Game Pass.
Isn't that basically nailed on already, though?
Yeah, it's close.
Is it?
Yeah.
Phil's already.
We've never heard anything about hardware, have we?
My mate Phil has already said that's in the works, right?
I mean, they said lots of things were in the works.
True. Can we get a price?
Oh, good one. Give a price. It's got to be within £10.
Okay, what? So the price of like the stick plus pad?
No, just the stick on its own. How much would they charge for that?
Well, they're not going to sell the stick on its own.
No, I was going to say they're going to sell like.
Why not?
It'd have to come with a
the whole
pad.
point is like, yeah, you buy. Here's a pad. Here's a stick. Here's like
loads
a
of
pass.
loads of people have got pads. They'll be
Yeah,
mad
they're trying to get new
sell
people
with a
into
controller.
it. Matt said they're trying to get new people in. New people don't have the console at all.
Yeah, they're trying to reach new audiences.
Right, but so they will do. Sure, hold on. If they're going to release this stick, right? Surely the way to do it is to release the stick and then have a bundle with a pad. Like, to not give the option to just buy a stick. What if you've got your Xbox and everything, but you also want to play in another room?
That wasn't Matt's
like
point,
via
though.
xCloud.
He said they were doing this to get new people. That was the purpose of it.
Yeah, but he's also saying that they wouldn't sell it on its own.
Well,
they're totally going to sell it on its own, aren't they? Surely.
But
why wouldn't they?
If they want this, and I think this will be like a mass market play. Hey, play Xbox games on your TV, blah blah blah, subscription this, cloud that. Like they want to go mass market, and then like someone's like, oh yeah, I bought the stick. Or how do I? Oh no, wait, I haven't got a controller. I think it will be like, hey, get this whole thing, play Xbox games on your TV for like 60 quid or whatever. Or
sure, but why would they alienate people that are like, oh, I spend a lot of time at my nan's, or I spend a lot of time around someone else's house. I can just buy that stick for like 25 quid or whatever, stick it in the back of their TV, and bring my existing pad with me.
Yeah.
Why would they just
like, well,
forget that market?
We've just upsold them 40 quid.
But they've already, because they've already updated the pad so that it can switch between two devices as well.
Okay, look,
so that would fit in that really nicely as well.
So maybe your prediction then is that they're going to release their stick and you can only buy it with a controller. Because that's insane to me. That's madness.
It does it makes sense to me that they do that. I mean, not that they'd only release it with a controller, but there had to be a controller bundle there. Like otherwise, it doesn't make any sense.
There'll be a bundle, but
so you're agreeing with me then, James?
Yes, I am agreeing with you, David. Yes.
Right, okay, fine. So we're way around it.
My original prediction I've written here is that they'll have they'll release this thing which is stick plus controller plus like 12 months of Game Pass bundle. There you go, new customers. Someone wants in another room. Blah blah blah. I don't know. That was
are
my
they going to sell it
prediction.
individually?
I mean, yeah, probably. I didn't think about that.
So what are we arguing about then? Weird. Okay, right.
God, I don't want to have to listen back to this again next year. Can we get to the point?
No, we won't have audio next year.
Okay, so sum it up. Right.
Microsoft will release.
Let's get a price in there for that full bundle, and I think you've got your prediction.
Okay, so stick plus controller plus. I mean, it will have a few months of Game Pass.
Yeah, it'll have it for free, wouldn't it? That's
it's going to have to. Yeah. It'll be confusing if they're like, here's all this, and you only get a month. And like, what? Surely.
Yeah.
I think all of that for how much is the Series S again?
$250.
$250.
Okay, I reckon all of that for. I'm gonna say $79.99.
Okay, all right, fine. Lock him in. I think that's right.
GB, yeah, that's Great British pounds.
I was thinking 70. I think because they sell the pads for £55.
Oh, I thought the pads were 60, but yeah.
I think $79.99 makes sense to me. I think that makes sense.
I see 70, but okay, fine. Go on.
My turn, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, my second one is that Google Stadia's subscription service is going to be shut down by the end of the year.
Oh, fuck you. That was going to...
Stadia Pro will be gone. It won't exist. Stadia will still exist, but and you'll still be able to buy games through it, but the Pro thing will be gone. They won't have a subscription service anymore.
Such a bastard, James.
Why?
Because I just feel sorry for Google.
It's a great service.
Why? I'm joking.
It's such a good service.
Google. They're doing all right. See, to me, that's the most obvious thing that can happen this year.
What, that Stadia Pro gets shut down?
Because I was gonna go for they announced that they are sunsetting the entire thing.
Yes, see, because that's a better prediction, I think.
Do you want that, James?
I don't think they're going to do that though, because that's too much.
That's not what you've been saying for the last 3 years.
It's true. Do we give him it?
So what's the prediction? You think that they're going to turn off the paid for Pro?
Yeah, I think they'll shut down the Pro side of it. That'll be gone. It will still exist, so you'll be able to buy games through it, but there won't be any of the Pro stuff anymore.
So if they do shut the whole thing down, he doesn't get the prediction.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you that. Yeah, I think it's a bit. I think it's a bit obvious, but okay, fine. Sean, what's your last prediction now?
You're gonna have to go around again because that's just torpedoed my replacement.
You're passing. So I've got written down. I've got 2 left, and I'm going to go with the first one of the 2 that I wrote down, which is Dreamcast games coming to Game Pass this year, or at least the announcement this year that they will be releasing Dreamcast games as part of the Game Pass subscription.
I'll let you have that because that's never going to happen.
It'd be fucking good if it did, though.
I think it will.
Why do you think it's never going to happen, James?
I don't know, because I just don't think anyone cares. Like, apart from like a small subsection of people, I don't think anyone cares enough for them to make it happen. It's just,
No, I agree. I think, who cares? I think that would make big headlines for Game Pass. And I don't think it'd be that expensive for them to do that either.
I don't think it'd be expensive, but I think there's a lot of people nowadays that'd be like, what's a Dreamcast?
Yeah.
Then what better time for them to find out, James?
as a marketing thing, you know what I mean? I think that would be quite good. That would be quite big. Get Dreamcast games on there. I think that's the move they want to make. They want people to go, look at all this stuff coming to Game Pass. Like, they want to make it big, and they're going to have to make some moves if Sony are going to announce their own service. We know that Sega are open to ideas like this because they made a deal with Nintendo for the Mega Drive games. I think this could happen, but what do you reckon? Am I allowed it?
You can have that, yeah, because it's not going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have that.
Cheers, Matt. Okay, so it's Matt's turn.
Well, following on from that, I was going to say Microsoft acquires Sega.
Okay, yeah, sure. You can have that. That was my first thought, but then I said, no, that's crazy because of Sega's other areas of business that Microsoft probably don't even want to get involved with.
They can still acquire them and then not really deal with that. It's more about the IPs and the licenses they own and the games, like Persona games and Yakuza and this, that, and the other. Total War, probably loads of others they own.
You can have that because it's not going to happen.
Sega are never going to sell.
They're not going to do that. They're not going to sell to a non-Japanese company, I think. I think it'd just be really unlikely.
Okay.
I think lots of things are unlikely in game. I think there's Microsoft, here's literally billions of dollars. You can, do all the games that you've ever wanted to do without the worry about having to sell pachinko machines and selling licenses left, right, and centre. I think there's lots of things.
Yeah, but as James says, if it's actually it's a cultural thing over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Selling to an American company is not what Japanese companies do.
And also, it would kill their market in Japan because no one owns an Xbox there. It's it's just it would be a very strange move to do that, I think.
But does it kill Sega, or does that bolster Microsoft? Because it's, if you want to keep playing Sega games in Japan, you need to buy an Xbox.
People are still not going to buy an Xbox. It's just not going to happen.
Okay.
I think it's less about trying to win over, the Japanese audience, and more just look at all the licenses and IP they've got and the potential, and who wouldn't want to see like Sega with billions of dollars behind them doing all the kind of cool creative things that they probably haven't really had the opportunity to do in recent years.
That's not true though. It's like Sega have put out loads of really good stuff like over the last couple of years. It's not that they're like a failing company with nothing going for them.
No, I'm not saying that, but imagine that like we have with massive amount of funding. Who knows? I mean, that's my prediction anyway.
Again, not going to include that in the clip for next year's show. James.
I think this one's not going to be allowed, but I'm going to try it anyway. Breath of the Wild 2 gets delayed until spring 2023.
I had this as one of mine, but I thought it's way too easy, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we're allowing that.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think we're allowing that because Zelda games always get delayed, and I regret letting you have it for 2022. So I think maybe we say no to that.
It has already had one significant delay, but given the scope of the game and everything,
got delayed for years and years and years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's given the fact that we've seen nothing for ages about it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we saw that one thing, and it's like, oh, there's an island in the sky for this one. It's like, all right, okay. Also, I went out and got Zelda Breath of the Wild this week. I bought it back or traded some games in to get it back. And as much as I've loved jumping back into that world, like I instantly went back into the world, found a shrine that I hadn't done, did that. All right, it was one of the combat ones, a bit disappointing. Found a quest that I hadn't done, so I went and did that. And just had a little run around the world, and I was like, this is still the best game ever. But at the same time, I was blown away by how much it struggles. You know what I mean? Like the frame is a bit choppy, the frame rate's a bit choppy, doesn't look quite as good as I remembered it.
Oh, it didn't look great even then. Like art-wise,
it still had a magic behind how it looked
for sure.
At the time.
But I remember seeing some of the screenshots, and I was like, this does not look good. In gameplay, it works, and it runs. Yeah.
What I'm saying is that in gameplay now, it doesn't really work as well as it did. So if they're looking to blow our minds again, maybe they need to wait until a more powerful console.
It makes total sense to them just like release that when new console's out and like bang, like because
do what they did for the last one. Yeah,
so Breath of the Wild, they came on like it was Wii U as well. No, what was it? It was
Wii U and Switch
as well. Yeah.
So was it? It was originally developed for Wii U, or was it just like a Switch where they downported it? What was
I mean, you can tell that it was originally developed with a Wii U in mind because of the whole Sheikah Slate thing.
Yeah,
it was like, hey, you've got a tablet just like you've got in your hands. So you could tell a big part of that development was aiming for Wii U, but I think they realised that actually, and not only that, it was taking so long, and the Switch was coming out. You might as well do it for the Switch as well.
And in Breath of the Wild, didn't look super on the Switch. I mean, like the second one on the Switch as well. Like, come on, it's
still incredible how like the draw distances in that game, getting that out of the Switch is still mad.
Yeah.
But like the frame rate was plummeting when I was playing the other day, and I was like, oh right, okay.
Yeah, and I was playing in
handheld, which is worse in in handheld anyway.
I should have predicted that it was going to come out, but it was going to be a cloud version of the game, and
that is a good prediction. You can still make that prediction.
There's no way they do that.
Do you want that? Is that that's locked in? That's locked in.
Go on.
Okay. I think Xbox Game Pass is going to get a price increase this year. And do you want me to say what those price increases are going to be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
what is it at the moment?
So at the moment, it's $10.99 a month for Ultimate.
Okay.
And I think it's going to go up to $12.99. And I reckon the standard Game Pass, which is currently $7.99, is going to go up to $9.99.
So a £2 increase on both things. That's I can see that happening too.
Yeah, that's not surprising. That's like what Netflix do every year.
Yeah, I know. It's mad.
What if I increase the amount I think it's going to be?
£100 a month.
Yeah.
It is weird though, isn't it? Like I swear one of these days I'm going to look at my Netflix subscription. It's going to be like 40 quid. Just go, when did that happen?
If you get an email like, I'm still going to pay it, and then you totally right. It's $39.99. What the shit?
Yeah, I got a letter from Virgin Media this week, and it just opened it up. It was like, yeah, you're going to be paying £8 more now. Oh, am I? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Deal with it.
For fuck's sake. Go on.
Am I not allowed that, or what are we doing?
I think because you've been so specific on price, I think we've got to give it to him. Right?
I think that's valid.
$12.99 and $10.99.
Yeah. Sorry, $9.99. Yeah. $12.99 and $9.99. Yeah.
$9.99 and $12.99.
Yeah.
Right, gotcha. Okay, fine.
Cool.
Let you have that. Sean.
Oh, do you know, I mean, it's probably not valid anyway. I was going to say it's going to be announced that Firesprite are making a new Wipeout game, but they're not, because I've had a look, and 5 days
Twisted
ago...
Metal.
Yeah, they're doing fucking Twisted Metal. Yeah. Which...
I fucking hate Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
Like, I hate the whole...
Fuck's sake.
The vibe of it.
It's a clown, isn't it? Is that the clown thing?
It's fucking unpleasant game. Like, it's how about absolute radio silence on Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga?
Okay, you can have that.
Yeah, I'd let you.
Because that's definitely coming out this year. Definitely.
You reckon?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right.
So I'm making that sound as if I actually know something. I don't.
That's a lot.
But
there are predictions.
I don't think we'll see it.
See, I had one other that was going to be about Jeff Keighley, but...
Yeah, was there any wild ones that we left out? I had... Go on, no, what's your Jeff Keighley one?
I was going to do Jeff Keighley gets choked up on stage when talking to Hideo Kojima about lockdown.
James, there's supposed to be predictions, not the most, like... Jesus, blatantly. I thought you were going to say Jeff Keighley was going to be producing a film with Hideo Kojima. That's like a better prediction, I think. I had Phil Spencer will appear on TCGS. And the idea was that I was going to announce that prediction and then spend the year trying to get like just a sound clip.
Let's do it anyway.
Phil Spencer.
Is he on Cameo?
yeah.
I mean, you joke about it. He's famously like accessible. Apparently, like he's got time. For people, he's
kind of funny and Giant Bomb. I don't know if the computer game show would quite have the same pull.
We briefly made it into the top 10 leisure podcasts on iTunes over Christmas, Dave. I don't know if you
briefly, it was a couple of days, mate. We went up to 8th.
You know what I mean? We nearly toppled one of the RHS podcasts.
Or one about fishing.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we did well. We did well with our Gotti show.
If you want him on the show, I will make it my year's mission to do that.
What, to just get him on? We can't. If we're going to do it, if we ever have Phil Spencer on the show, it's going to be James and Phil Spencer. That's it. Like James just interviewing Phil Spencer. I'd love to hear that.
Farley Spencer.
Like as a serious interview with James Farley. Just like going, so what? You know what I mean? Like, what would your first question be, James?
Do you think the Xbox One did well? You know, what do you think?
That's a tough one to go in on.
What kind of question?
Really hard hitting stuff.
Paxman over here. He's like, interview's over.
Did you have any, Matt? You must have had some wild ones that you didn't read out.
Well, all mine were pretty kind of boring. So Metal Gear Solid Remastered by Blue Point. I mean, maybe that's going to come. And then mostly I was going to,
yeah, go on. Sorry,
heavily rumored, wasn't it?
Although Blue Point, I think it was mentioned earlier or later last year that they're actually going to do like original IP, original stuff now. So
that's true. They did. I was going to say, I didn't think it was a good enough one to say, but I was thinking maybe Blue Point doing a Bloodborne remake as per Demon's Souls. But
is it worth doing a Bloodborne remake at this point? That game still looks pretty good.
That's true. You would think they would do Dark Souls first, but
doesn't everyone want like 60 frames per second Bloodborne though? Isn't that what people keep going on about all the time?
True, but there's an easier way to do that.
A proper Dark Souls remake like that would be the one, wouldn't it? Because the remaster we got on the last generation was not great.
Oh, but then I suppose actually, I've now realised the reason Bloodborne makes more sense is that obviously that's the PlayStation one, the Sony one. It's not Dark Souls was multi-platform, so maybe.
That is true.
Yeah, the rest of mine were just like boring, like new Max Payne game. It's been ages, and like 2022 is the 21st anniversary of the first Max Payne game. I feel like I'd be in for a new one. Sly Cooper Reboot.
Yeah, because I'm really happy with our predictions this year because I looked back on our ones for last year, and when you look like, all right, playing Eclipse was funny, but when you look at I had 2 of my predictions were games being announced, and it's like, okay, GTA 6 announced, and if they announced it, I'd be like, thanks for the point. Like, who cares? If they come out and say, Dreamcast games, Game Pass, and I've got a clip of me saying it a year prior, that's what I want. That's what I'm going for with these. Revised Switch Lite. Yeah, come on. I love that. But yeah, no, I think we've got some good ones in there, so it'd be interesting to listen back to those next year. Cool. Right, should we get on to what we've been playing? Matt, let's start with you, because I can see what you've got written down.
Yeah, I played fuck all.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, you only had a full month.
Yeah, I've had a lot going on.
Mine are pretty quick, so I will get them out of the way. I completed Lake over the weekend. I reserved talking about Lake in depth until I'd completed it, just in case it switched it up. That was a terrible game, Matt. I can't believe that people got enjoyment out of that. And it wasn't just Matt. I saw a few people saying they enjoyed it on Twitter and stuff when it came out. I don't get it. I don't get why that got praised when that came out. I mean, there was the whole thing, it's relaxing. It's not relaxing, it's tedious. You know, just driving was a chore. Delivering letters that was a chore. You know,
how's it a chore? You just got out your car and walked to the door.
Yeah, and then walked back slowly to your van, got back in, moved to the next one, got back out, walked slowly over to the thing, pressed the button, walked back.
That's
nothing
the job
happens.
of a male person in Middle America.
But okay, fine. So we're going to do. So if it's the job of something, we're going to say it's good, is it? And relaxing.
But there must be some great characters, Dave. You know that you interacted with.
The characters were all terrible, all really poorly written, had nothing going on. Like, there was a whole bit where someone said, I need to do my hair. I've got a hair appointment, but I need to look after my cats. Can you look after my cats? And I went, let's see where this goes. So I said yes. And then there was just a short cutscene of her going, hello, little kitty. And that was it. That was it.
I cried at that scene, David.
Some of the conversations, the song written by your friend Kay and singing that was terrible.
What did you think of the radio bit?
The radio bit was really bad, Matt. The stand-up comedy was absolutely shocking.
I feel like just making stuff up.
Right, okay. So if you don't want Lake spoiled, I'm going to talk about the ending now because I just want to hear, but I'm not going to spoil it. So I predicted the big decision at the end, right? Mm-hmm, are you staying near Lake? Or are you going back to the big city? I mean, why? What did you choose, Matt?
I went back to the big city, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Easiest decision I've ever made in my life. Am I going to stay in this place, delivering mail, talking to people that I do not care about, who speak in a very weird way? There's this whole big plot about how one character is trying to stop this new development of apartments in like this big forest area because he loves the forest, right? The resolution to that, if you follow that quest line, right, is that he achieves a delay in development for 6 months. That's it. And he goes, I'm so happy. Yeah, we won. And I went, no, wait, you just said delay for 6 months. Like, what?
Wow. Cool. Well done.
Yeah.
And what I didn't like about that character is, like, I helped him out of his paperwork, and then within minutes, he's like, hey, do you want to go on a date? I'm like, mate, stop being a prick. I'm just helping you with the paperwork. Why are you trying to do this?
Did you go on the date?
No.
Right, so I went on the date.
I think I did, but I was like, we're literally just friends. And even everyone's like, oh, I saw you and Thingy going for dinner. I was like, no, I helped him out with his paperwork. We're going for dinner. That is it. Oh, yeah.
He buys you a frozen steak, and then just as you're leaving Lake, he turns up and goes, don't leave, I love you. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, I helped you have your paperwork. I don't want to get married to you.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I'm sorry your wife died, but...
It just honestly, I don't get it. it was horrible. And when the credits rolled, I could not believe that was the end. Also, yeah, as I said, your decision was to stay in Lake with people that clearly you don't like. Terribly, like, I didn't enjoy my time there. And you had to weigh that up against going to the city where your salary was getting tripled as you were being made like a partner in a company that you worked in your whole life. Just, I don't get it, Matt. I don't get it.
I enjoyed it, but I saw some people say, why didn't Matt include this in his Game of the Year list? Well, one, it's not a Game of the Year contender. You're allowed to enjoy games, but not think they're the best things on earth. And also,
it's true. It's true.
It wouldn't be an argument. What's the point? There's no one backing up. I enjoyed it for what it was, for sure. It obviously was far from perfect, but I enjoyed it, and that's all I can say.
So yeah, I played that, and I'm probably 2/3 of the way through the Pedestrian. Has anyone played this?
Oh yeah, I heard this came out on Game Pass, right?
Yeah, I've played a little bit. I'm assuming this
is an old PC game, Sean. I don't know the history.
I don't think it's old, but I think it's been around a little while. Yeah,
it's really bloody good.
Yeah, I played a bit. Clever. It seems great.
So you control essentially those like the exit signs. You get the little stick man in an exit sign.
I've seen the exit signs, yeah.
Have you seen those exit signs with it?
Oh, yeah,
there's a door and the little dude walking towards it.
I've seen exit signs, boy.
Okay. You get to control one of them, and the whole idea is that it's sort of a puzzle platformer where you're moving signs about on a wall, sort of creating a jigsaw out of them to make doors open in the right to the right sign, and then shifting it about, and it gets more and more, as you would expect, gets more and more complicated with various different little things, like there might be an archway within the sign, and if you place that over another sign, you can walk on to that sign without using any of your moves to link doors and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's really it's relaxing to a point before it gets like completely mind-blowing and it really fucks you up. But the interesting aspect of it is that there's still a 3D world and environment in the background while you're moving all these bits and pieces about and controlling this little stick man. And it's just a really cool little puzzle game. As you say, like, it's one of those games, I'm not sitting there going, you have to play this. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's not. It's just a really interesting little puzzle game that makes you feel like you're a brainiac when you complete a level, you know. So yeah, I mean, on Game Pass on Xbox, definitely check it out if you like puzzle platformers, because it's a really interesting one and it's beautifully done.
It's one of those that, without this, I don't want this to sound like a sly dig, but it's like perfect Game Pass fodder, isn't it? Because it's
100%.
Like, do you know what? It's not mind blowing. I probably wouldn't have gone out of my way, but for something to just appear in my life, it's really good.
Yeah, it's just sitting down and playing that for a few hours. I think it's only a few hours long. And I am definitely getting to the bit where I'm like, this might be above my IQ. But, I think about many games like that. Gears of War, I think, was another one that I thought about.
Just the story, couldn't get your head around it. It's just...
No, I could not.
Does this do anything like The Witness, where it brings in the kind of background of the 3D environment?
Hasn't yet. I'm pretty certain it will do that at some point, because you can put your cursor anywhere within the window that you're looking for.
Put it anywhere.
You can put that cursor anywhere, Matt. So I'm waiting for that moment, like where you like, how do I do this? Oh, there's a sign on the taxi in the background. Maybe I can pick that off of it or something. I don't know, but I mean, well worth a try. And it does some wonderful things with music as well. It's kind of like a plodding soundtrack behind it, but the way it shifts it in and out of focus, depending on what you're doing, works really well. And cool. Yeah, just like sitting there playing it.
Yeah, this came out in great. January 2020 on Steam. So
did it?
It's way older than I thought it was.
Yeah. So highly recommended if you like that sort of game. And that's all I've been playing, really. Sean, do you want to go through yours?
Hello. I finished Guardians of the Galaxy. Brilliant.
Good, isn't it?
Fucking great. Yeah, really enjoyed it. And obviously we talked about it a lot on the Game of the Year show, but the story, really good. I even really enjoyed the combat up until, as you were saying, the last few hours. There's just a lot of it.
There's too much funneling, isn't there, and it's just
and there are some like really cool set pieces and stuff. It feels like they had more ideas for story and scenarios than they did for actual things to do. Do you know what I mean? Like there's still like bits of story to play out and places to go, but not anything new to do in them. But
see, also,
whatever.
Like the combat upgrades that you get as well. Like I didn't find any of them were really sort of interesting enough to make me feel like I really want to experiment with this and all that kind of thing. It's just like, whatever's quickest, to get through this.
Yeah. Which is kind of a shame. And like the very last bit, which I won't spoil, totally unnecessary. I thought, just not like, wasn't like a sort of a cool like, oh my god, this is it. This is the final big bit. It was just like, oh, what I have to do that? Okay, all right.
Kind of felt like it came out of nowhere as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was like, why are we doing this now? Because I thought that whole thing was kind of resolved.
Yep.
And
so that was a bit weird. That was odd.
I mean, it's such a shame those last 2 hours focused on the combat, because it's easily the weakest part of the game. And as I said, it was so confident in not having too much combat leading up to that point.
Yeah, the pacing's really good.
Yeah, it's like it didn't need it. We don't need to have constant kill rooms. We can just do this mix up and push the story along. And then suddenly there's 3 hours of, the story's kind of on hold now.
Yeah.
Like that whole ice level.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a spoiler. I don't think it is.
Nah.
But that whole ice level, you're like, the story doesn't change, or what you're doing doesn't change throughout that whole bit. You are literally just killing things.
Just making your way through.
The end of that level as well, I found irritating.
Did you?
Yeah.
The boss fight?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that very much.
It was all right.
There was too much going on.
I feel like we're just slagging it off now. No, it's incredible. And there's and there are bits towards the end that like just some real gut punches and some just clever stuff. Really good writing, really good acting as well.
Birthday party.
Yes.
It's really, really messed up, that bit.
Yeah. Horrible.
Fantastic.
But in a smart and relevant way, Yeah, really enjoyed it. Really glad I played it.
I just really hope there's going to be more of these, Like just...
Yeah, I hope there's another one.
I mean, they keep it open-ended. Spoilers. It's definitely...
They do. Matt, did you play any more of it?
No, not since that 1 hour I played before the holidays.
The more I think about it, the more I know you'll hate it.
Really?
It's got everything you hate in it. Everything that you're so viciously against in video games in it.
I know.
Like, for example, there's lots of walking through cracks in walls. And I know you hate that.
There is a lot of that.
What was the other thing? There's lots of moments where you're sliding down things.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I enjoyed the sliding. I've already been down sliding things already. There
was quite a lot of the game I was just thinking, Matt's going to be livid about this.
You complained about that with Fallen Order. You're like, I was sliding down things all the time.
Yeah. It is a bit of a throwback.
Yeah, that was annoying.
But
Exactly.
I mean, no more of a throwback than like Psychonauts 2, right? Which
no, that was
quite
way more of a
comparable, really, aren't they?
Actually, I've got a question, Matt. Is it been stricken from your list now, though? Now that it's from last year?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about
Good
that.
question.
I mean, obviously, typically I do that because obviously I got too much going on in my brain. But then I was thinking, hang on, there's not a lot else to play at the moment. So
What?
there's loads of games I want to go back to.
2 weeks away from Horizon Forbidden West.
Fuck, is it only 2 weeks away?
Yeah, like it's like the 13th, isn't it? Is it maybe 3 weeks?
I mean, again,
like-
I played a few hours of the first one and thought I'm not doing this after Breath of the Wild. So, but I'm
Am I
going to
the
pick
only
that one up.
one that's not pumped for that game?
I'm fully not fussed.
I'm just because I know it's going to be like 30 to 40 hours long, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not really, really excited by it because I enjoyed Horizon Zero Dawn. It was a good game, but I came back to it when I got it for virtually nothing.
That's
and was
right,
like, and this is this is fun. This is a good game, but it never felt like a system seller, amazing sort of thing. And I don't think this will
I'm
either.
going to have to play it because I did enjoy that game. But the thought of playing a 30 to 40 hour open world Sony game again is making me go,
I mean, I
want to do it.
like I said, I have no affiliation with the franchise. I played a little bit and thought, no, it's not for me. But I am really intrigued to play this because I want to have like a big, gorgeous looking PS5 game to play. If it does sound to be like a 40-hour or so open world, that kind of okay, whatever. But no,
yeah, if they said it's a 30-hour like linear game, it's weird, isn't it? Like we used to complain about that a lot, but I think for single-player games now, I'm way more interested if it's a linear experience, like, say, for Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was going to say, you can do that with these 10 to 15 hours rather than a...
Yeah, you can just mainline
You can just mainline the stories in these. You don't have to spend all that time exploring if you don't want to.
But then there's so much out there that it's got a completely different feel to it. You look at Guardians of the Galaxy, it's very much go here, continue, push through, right? Or Uncharted or something like that, or, The Last of Us. I love that. But when it opens up like that, you do still feel compelled to do it, or it's at the back of your mind of, what am I missing? Whereas you're not really missing anything if you're missing a couple of collectibles in Guardians.
Although, I mean, with this, this depends on how fun it is to get around. If it's fun to get around, then it's fine.
Yeah.
If it's not...
100%.
Then,
yeah.
I'm just
Breath of the Wild is one of my favourite games.
A big, gorgeous looking game to play on PlayStation. That's what I'm looking forward to. So
That's true. That's true. I do want to play something that is exceptionally next gen.
I can't remember how the first one reviewed. I assume it was reviewed really well.
And yeah, it did.
I assume this is going to review incredibly well and look gorgeous. So yeah, I'm up for that more than the content of the game, and we'll see how the game takes me as well.
Okay.
So I just don't think that studio is not amazing. Guerrilla Games. They've not put out anything that I've ever thought is really, really superb.
Cutting.
Well, maybe you should have a go, James.
No, it's true. I've played
maybe you make a bloody game. Yeah,
no, James, you're going to get this, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to get it. Yeah.
Yeah, day one. Yeah, exactly. So.
Let's see. Okay. What else have you been playing?
So there's 2 games I'm going to talk about as a pair. These both appeared on Game Pass recently. It's Paw Patrol, Mighty Pups, Save Adventure Bay, and Race with Ryan.
I played a lot of Paw Patrol, Mighty Pups, Save Adventure Bay.
Wait. Is Race with Ryan, is this Ryan's Toy Reviews, Ryan?
Yes.
I can't wait to hear about this. Go on.
Can I say this before we go into the games themselves, Sean?
Yeah.
I've got to say, it was great to see this on Game Pass because, I know that Charlie would love to play a Paw Patrol. He's bang into his Paw Patrol at the moment, and I thought, getting him a Paw Patrol game would be great. But I ain't paying 40 to 50 quid for a Paw Patrol game. They don't drop in price because they know they'll sell. And I was like, fuck that. I'm not doing that. When I saw it on Game Pass, unexpected, because I thought, Nickelodeon would be, no. What? We can flog these for 40 quid a pop. We ain't putting this on Game Pass. But seeing it on Game Pass, I was like, brilliant. Download that. Let Charlie play it. So yeah, I was well happy to see that on Game Pass. But right, okay. So what have you got to say about these games?
Well, it's just interesting, right? Because these are both from the same developer. I say that I think they've got multiple studios. They put out a lot of games based on kids shows, right? And and it's just fascinating. So we played quite a lot of Paw Patrol first. Again, yeah, same as Charlie. Isaac's a fan, and yeah, so he was really keen to check it out. And do you know what? It's not good, as in any way that we would measure it, but it's intelligently designed for very young children. It's one of the first games where I've just been able to leave Isaac to it, and he's felt a bit of ownership over it. He's been able to do it all himself. There's, there's menus and stuff, and there's prompts and everything, but it's all visual and audio. There's no reliance on being able to read stuff. Because, there's other games that I know he would like. He really enjoyed watching me play Animal Crossing, and he wanted to play it, but he was just walking up to people and talking to them, and then going, what are they saying? Right?
Yeah, of course.
And it was just think, could they not have thrown in, just a basic text-to-speech thing? But whatever. So, yeah, do you know what? He had a really good time with Paw Patrol, and there was a few bits, he'd hand me the controller, and I'm like, oh, man, this is pretty rubbish, but whatever. He had a really good time with it, and he felt like it was his game. Race with Ryan, fuck me.
Don't say that after saying that.
So going from Paw Patrol, which, as I say, is not good, but clearly designed with its target audience in mind, Race with Ryan thinks your kids are fucking idiots and it does not care. Much like the source material, to be honest.
What does it do?
Like, it's just...
Actually, before you go into that, can I just quickly say now, yes, we all know, the four of us, Animal Crossing is text-to-speech with the speech, right? But we're not... It's clearly you still can't quite understand. Well, you can't understand it at all because it's sped up text-to-speech.
Yeah,
right.
Gibberish,
I'm only putting that in there now because someone's written us an email and hit send before they got to this bit. So they'll be disappointed when we point that out on the show. But continue,
So it's a shit Mario Kart ripoff, obviously, with all the Ryan's World characters. If you don't have kids, how do we quickly summarise Ryan's World? He's basically a young child who his parents force him to make videos about toys and stuff.
I mean, it's a lawsuit waiting to happen in the future.
It is,
basically.
I mean, you know, all jokes aside, like the damage probably being done to that child. I mean, you know, it's not like it's not like one of those YouTube channels where they like fucking bully him or whatever. He appears to be having a good time, but fuck me, just the amount of stuff they churn out, and it's one of those shows that is just designed to like get kids like fucking addicted to it. Like Isaac's watched a bit of it, and like getting him off it was like an active thing we had to do. It was like he was like screaming if we turned it off. It was awful. And there's just no value in it whatsoever. And this is a shit Mario Kart ripoff. And I mean, it's just horrible to play. It's, you know, frame rates all over the place. There's a weirdly like narrow field of view. I felt like I was getting motion sickness playing it.
I should stream this because this looks brilliant. I'm looking at the screenshots.
Mate, even just like going through the menus and stuff. Like every time you click on something, there'll be like a full like screen transition, and it'll be Ryan sat on his sofa going like, "Yeah, let's do a race," and then it'll cut to the next menu. But it's so obviously like, and I'm not saying it has to be like, you know, 100% slick or anything, but it's like, oh, you've literally put a smartphone in a tripod and he's sat 5 meters away on the sofa just shouting shit across the room. Like, it looks and sounds dreadful.
I've got a question.
Go on.
I've got a question. Is his mum in it?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not sure. Princess T.
I've just got a feeling that they said, look, we want to do a Ryan game. And like his mum went, well, I've got to be in it. Like, I just, you know.
I can't remember.
I just got that feeling.
I'm not going to check, I'll be honest.
Is that 4-player online multiplayer?
I can't remember. I don't think it has online multiplayer. It's got split screen, yeah. Which, I mean, I wouldn't recommend.
I just typed in Race with Ryan multiplayer, and then the first thing on Google is Race with Ryan multiplayer not working. So
brilliant. But crucially, right, Isaac trying to play this, like, there's no accommodations for children. There's no, like, you know, like Mario Kart, you have all the like auto accelerate and sort of
Harry's doing all that stuff.
Yeah. Like, and it's really valuable. There is none of that here. So Isaac just got really upset because he was just like, I'm losing, I'm crashing all the time. I hate this. I was like, yeah, it's shit, isn't it?
No, this is good, Sean, because now he hates Ryan.
That's true. It's poisoned him against
worked
Ryan.
out best for you.
So, yeah, as I say, 2 games, neither of them good, but one knows its audience and the other one just wants your fucking money. Or at least that's how it felt to me.
I'm just reading the Google reviews. It's brilliant.
Oh, really? Go on.
I've got to read a couple out because I've got something to tell you as well. I've got something to read out.
Oh, God.
So the first one I got here says, this family should be ashamed and embarrassed for putting out this absolute piece of trash. They should be charged with a crime for having the audacity to charge $30 for it. The graphics are horrific. I've seen better quality from iPhone apps. The gameplay is equally awful. My son wanted his dad and I to play with him, so we sat down to play. When you go to split screen mode, it acts like you can have up to 4 players, but when we tried to join, the game crashed and would only allow 2 players. It's amazing. Awful, just awful. Nothing but a shameless cash grab from a family who already takes advantage of kids.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But this is what I hate, is that, like, you know, there's probably people listening to this thinking, like, yeah, but it's games for kids, like, what do you expect? Like, you can do better. You can fucking do better. Mario Kart is a better game for children than fucking Race with Ryan is. Like, not only is it a better game full stop, because of course it fucking is, but it's a better game for children who are learning to play their first racing game. You can make those...
Charlie's playing it. Charlie's fully playing it.
Yeah, like you can put those accommodations into an already far superior game, and this argument that it's like, yeah, but it's kids stuff, they're not that bothered. Like, yeah, they're not, but they can still play better games. Like as long as those accommodations are made for them. So I
wanted to read out the characters that you get to choose from in this game.
Oh,
some of the names are hilarious. They've got Alpha Lexa,
right? Big
Gil,
right?
Combo Panda, Gus the Gummy Gator. This is my favourite.
Yeah.
Mo. okay. Peck the Penguin. No, running out of ideas.
Yeah,
and of course Ryan. But the funny thing is, I'm on the Giant Bomb website that lists all the characters out, and they've got. I mean, this is literally just for you guys. Our listeners not going to get to see this, but they've got pictures of some of the characters. Like here's Gus the Gummy Gator, but for some of the, have you seen that? That's in the TCGS. What's that?
Is that an NFT?
No, probably. But for some of the characters, like Giant Bomb have just used this weird placeholder image. Like, what the fuck is it's a spaceman on what looks like a space moose.
Wow.
With like a Mexican wrestler.
Is that
outfit?
Is that Abraham Lincoln in the?
Oh, it is Abraham Lincoln. In a space.
George Washington. Then.
George Washington's got Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. Well, that's the game.
That's the clue.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
shame.
Yeah. I've also been playing Rimworld, which is not a game where everyone tongs each other's anuses. It's a game.
I'm out.
I know. Yeah, got it. I know.
What's the point?
What's the point?
So this is like one of these weird, sort of insanely detailed life sims you get on your PC. You've probably all heard of Dwarf Fortress. Is that fair to assume? No. Okay. Sounds like your sort of thing, Dave. So I'm surprised.
It does. It sounds right up my street.
So this is like a more accessible Dwarf Fortress, right? So basically, the idea is, it's quite an interesting concept. It's set in the year fucking 5000 and whatever, and it's this idea of like a sci-fi world where humanity's got all sorts of cool technology and stuff, and we've spread across the stars, but we never actually figured out faster than light travel. So people are like settling on these other planets, but it takes so fucking long to get to them that there's no communication between them, right? There's no sort of meaningful, like you're still just on the planet you're born on. That's basically where you're going to stay for the rest of your life. And so like there might be some planets that are insanely advanced, and then others that are basically still at the Stone Age because they've had no choice. Like they've just been like crash landed on a planet, and there's no, there's no technology or anything. They're just making do with what's there. So yeah, and this is like it's top down, like 2D, and you start off with like a group of survivors who are all sort of semi-randomly rolled. You can sort of pick from a list, and they've all got different strengths and weaknesses, different skills, and so on. And yeah, and you're ordering them about. You're trying to build a little settlement, keep them alive, and like that is kind of it. But like, it describes itself as a story generator, right? Like the idea is things are going to go wrong, and it's finding joy or amusement in the weird things that go wrong. So in my first colony that I set up, there was 5 people. 2 of them fell in love, and they were going to get married. They planned that they were going to get married, and then there was an electrical fault in my little colony that I'd built mostly out of wood. So everything started setting on fire, and so the married couple were in the room that set on fire first, so they were unconscious because of the smoke. And then the other people started trying to run in to rescue them and put the fire out, but the woman, Latch, her nickname was, she had a dog who was insanely loyal to her, and he went into a frenzy because she was unconscious and dying in her room, and the dog started attacking anyone who was trying to rescue her. So the dog then took out all 3 of the people who tried to rescue. I think one of them died from like smoke inhalation or something. but the dog was savaging all these people trying to rescue her. And then the game randomly, apparently this is a thing they put in for like if you get attacked, right? You can get attacked by other colonies. And if all your colonists are like unconscious, it will send in the man in black, right? Who's like this insanely skilled fighter. He's like a gunslinger. So he appears to like sort everything out and just finds this colony that's just all set on fire with 5 dead people inside and a rabid dog guarding the corpses. And and then he approaches and the dog attacks him. So he starts like beating the dog unconscious. And I was like,
this
fucking
sounds horrendous.
Yeah. I mean, this was after
steroids.
like 5 hours of me carefully managing this colony, right? And like everything was going super well, and like, oh my god, these two are getting married. This is so cool. This is really, this is going really well. And then all this happened. So yeah, he has to beat the dog unconscious, which he does, and then he starts starts doing all these sort of medic stuff on the dog, puts the dog back in its bed, tries to put the fire out. Thank fuck it then starts raining. Puts most of the fire
instant out. Dog, yeah.
And
wet dog.
Sorry, Dave, you okay?
Yeah, no, Instant Wet Dog is the new episode title, though, surely.
Instant Wet Dog. And then basically, he nurses the dog back to health and slowly but surely rebuilds the colony, makes friends with the dog, and then starts like other, as you play, like other drop pods like crash on the planet, right? And you can try and rescue the people. And so he starts trying to do that when new people drop in, and like sometimes he's able to save them, sometimes he isn't. And I ended up just like rebuilding the entire colony from nothing, just this one guy and this dog that tried to kill him, and then he had to nearly beat it to death, and then he revived it. It's fucking weird, and this is just the sort of thing that happens.
But how are you piecing that all together? Is that all like just following?
Oh, it's all playing out in front of you. If you want to dig into, like, you can click on any character, and it'll show you like their log, right, of like things, all the interactions they've had most recently. So like you'll see characters running around, and there'll be little sort of speech bubbles sort of showing like, oh, these two people said hi, or these people had an argument, or whatever. And if you then go into it, it'll be like, oh, this character made fun of this guy's facial hair, or whatever. But then, and like, there's loads of detail in like their health as well. So that dog is still going, but he's like, one of his paws was bitten off by a raccoon, and like he's missing another leg. Because that was another thing. Like, so like one of my colonists had like one of his legs was bitten by, I can't remember, wild animal, and it was healed, but it was still causing him shitloads of pain. So I forced him to undergo an operation to have it amputated and put a prosthetic on instead, and then he was all right. Because the modelling of, like, people's health and their sort of ailments is that detailed that you can be like, right, well, it's telling me this leg's not right, so if I swap it for a prosthetic, he'll be all right. And he was. It's just, it's fascinating. I was up till like 2-3 in the morning for a good couple of nights playing it, because it's just fascinating seeing what it throws at you and how, like, all these interactions between your colonists and then just random shit that happens. It's just, really good. I like it a lot.
It looks nothing like I thought it would look.
It looks basic as hell.
It looks
visually,
well simple, doesn't it?
Yeah, visually it is pretty sparse, but yeah. I mean, I got this because I've been meaning to get this for ages, but it's one of those that like never goes on sale because it's secretly doing incredibly well. Well, I mean, not that secretly if you're into PC games, I suppose, but I finally got it because it was on the Epic store. I think it was like £3 off in the Christmas sale, but then they were doing the £10 off voucher thing again.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So I got it for like £15, and it's fucking great, really good.
Is this not available on Switch?
Yeah, I was about to say.
I don't think so. No, I don't think it is. Sadly, it's very mouse and keyboard, to be honest.
Oh right, okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Cool, and that's all of us. Should we do a few questions and then wrap this one up?
Yeah, because my voice is going again.
I haven't said anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, James.
Sorry, James.
Game.
Oh dear.
Well, I want to hear about it.
We can skip
it's fine, because I'll have a Strepsil while you do this, and then I can read the questions out. Go on.
I mean, I've been playing Skyward Sword. That's the only thing I played over Christmas, and that was it.
That's weird. Why did you play Skyward Sword?
Well, I played it because I bought it because it was the HD remake, obviously, of the remaster or whatever of the game, and I wanted to play it. It's one of the only mainline Zelda games I've never played, and it's also another one of those games that I've tried to play many times on every system I think it's come out on, and this is the first time that I've actually got further with it. I mean, it's what everyone says. It's got one of the worst starts to like a Zelda game ever. It's so tedious. There's so many cutscenes. The controls are really poorly explained. It's got boring quests, and it's just terrible. Like, probably for the first, 5 or 6 hours, it's not good. Like, it's really not good at all. But then it completely takes off, and it's one of the best Zelda games I've ever played. Like now, it's incredible. I'm playing it like as much as I possibly can. And one of the things, I mean, like in the marketing for it, they talked about how you could see like the links between Breath of the Wild and stuff that came in that. You really can see that very strongly in this. Like, there's this whole focus rather than just being on dungeons, but on making the overworld much more interesting, like to get across. But also the fact that like each area is like a puzzle in itself rather than like a dungeon with like multiple rooms and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, it's a bit of a cheat because it's not like Breath of the Wild where it's like you can go anywhere. Everything is a lot more funneled. But because there's like an introduction of like a whole new set of tools, which have not been in other Zelda games before, the puzzles are really interesting and very different to what's come before, and the tools are extremely well put together, and it's just very good. Like, it's very, very enjoyable. I like to play through. I mean, the biggest problem with it still is the controls, and the motion control stuff is terrible. Like, I mean, I didn't even bother with it after a while because it's just awful. And in the end, you end up having to use like the right stick as like your, to like swing the sword around and everything. And it's just such a shame because this game would be 100% better if it was just had normal controls. Like, there's no need, I think, to have these like motion controls, because the combat is the absolute worst thing about it, because it's just tedious and it lacks fluidity. Like, because of the fact that it's all based on this idea of like, oh, well, this person's blocking in this direction, so I'm going to have to like attack in this direction instead. And it's just boring. It's just not very fun to engage with, which is a shame. But overall, though, it's brilliant. Like, it's a very, very good game if you can get through the first 5 hours or so, because they're awful. It's so bad. Like, the first 5 hours.
I'm jealous you've got through it, because I played it. I basically got to the boss in the first major dungeon, I think, and then I'd been fighting with the controls. I tried both. Like, okay, no, I prefer this one. No, I prefer that one, but neither of them were good. And then I got to the first boss, and I was like, fuck this. This is like yourself, James. This is also one of the very few Zelda games I haven't probably played, and really desperately wanted to. The controls just like too much.
Yeah.
Neither system worked for me enough. I was like, why? I think it'd always be like, I would love to play a game if it had controls that I could be bothered to fight along with and play, but no. It just killed it for me.
It's completely understandable, because I mean, even now, like, I'm nearly at 30 hours now, and I still keep messing up from time to time because of the controls. It's like I keep pressing the wrong one, or it's like I've not pressed it long enough or whatever, and it's annoying. That side of it is annoying. But the little nods that you get to stuff from Breath of the Wild are really good, like the stamina bars there. But mostly it's...
That's right, the stamina bars there, isn't it? Yeah, the green circles.
But mostly it's just the new tools that they introduce in this, which, I mean, this has always been the problem with other Zelda games, is that, they are, like, each generation they release a new one, which is pretty similar in terms of, like, what tools you get, overall until Breath of the Wild came out. And this one did feel like they were really trying to do something different, and it really works. It's just a shame about the controls.
Do you remember, because this was highlighted, as I said, I'm playing Breath of the Wild again at the moment. Do you remember that game come out, the controls were fucking weird as well, weren't they? Everyone changed them, because like the jump button was on Y or some shit.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
It's because Harry started playing it from the start, and he said, well, I said, oh, press A to jump. And he wasn't jumping. And I was like, what? Because I've been playing it since we got it. And yeah, A's jump. And then it just hit me. Oh, yeah. They put A on the top button for some reason.
They put A on the top
button. They put jump on the... It wouldn't surprise me. Those fucking... there needs to be some sort of system in place now, isn't there? I mean, sort it out.
Yeah.
No one's going to change, but they should all change. I mean, all right, I'm okay with Sony just going, no, let's have symbols. I'm okay with that. But I'm not happy about A and B and X and Y being swapped around between Xbox
It's really unhelpful for Isaac as well, because he's still learning this stuff.
I bet.
And I'll say, like, press the... Although I've had to... I don't know if you guys ever had this. I've been not told off by his school, but... Because, obviously, the way, like, in terms of letters, they don't say A, B, C, they do them phonetically, so it's all A and B, K.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, his preschool was like, oh, just, like, be careful, because there's loads of letters that he knows as A and B and X and Y. I'm like, yeah, I know why that is.
So the phonetic system is really, that's quite a problem later.
I can imagine.
But, I mean, I would say, he's more advanced. Leave me alone. Yeah. I'm sorry, your child knows letters, and we don't want that. We want sound. I don't know, man. It didn't affect Harry. It didn't affect Harry.
But we say it so much that, like, then when we're having regular conversations, we'd be like, and I mean, say A, like, because everything we said in the house would be like Berg, Kerr, and he's like, is it kicking Kerr or little Kerr?
Kicking Kerr. Oh, I remember that. Going through that.
We said so much again. In like regular conversations, we'll be like that and forgetting. I know adults speak with like A, B, C, and
What's the fucking song? The one that goes, what is the phonetic song? Sung that about a billion times. Anyway, let's not go into that. Cool. Yep. Okay. Skyward Sword, worth it after 5 hours.
It's definitely worth it. Yeah, I'm going to finish it this week, I'm hoping, because it's good.
Cool. All right. You can fly in that, right?
Yeah, but that's another thing. Like, that isn't really as big as you think it's going to be at all.
No. Yeah. That's just a big jump.
Yeah.
But how do you find flying with the non-motion controls? Because that was the one time where, motion controls make more sense in them modes. I was like changing my control system when it got to a flying bit.
It's fine. I got used to that. I didn't have that problem. That was okay.
Do you remember when you found out you could fly in GTA 3 and you got all excited and then you realised that there was all these planes there and you tried to get in all of them and none of them worked except for that one with the really short wings and it was like, it wasn't really flying, it's sort of just hopped.
And it was like dodo, impossible to get in the air. It was,
pile of crap. Right, okay, let's do some questions.
If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/deartcgs in your favourite web browser, whatever that might be. Ian Lee, the TV and radio broadcaster and nutritionally enriched milk drink enthusiast, has messaged us. Says
Whoa, say that again. That's weird.
Go on.
Okay, we need to talk about that. He texted me today saying, did you know me and Sean have secret conversations about nutritional drinks? Literally did that today, yeah.
There you go. We set that up for us.
Doesn't Sean don't listen to him? He just drinks fizzy pop all the time. Don't listen to him about nutrition and drinks. Go on.
He says, after hearing you wang on about it, I've started playing Titanfall 2. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm not very good at video games. Dave suggested lowering the difficulty from regular to easy. I've been playing games for about 40 years, and it has never occurred to me to do this because it feels like cheating. So the question is lowering the difficulty level in games cheating? No, absolutely not. And especially not if it's an option provided to you by the developers.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, right, because the reason why I said that to him is that he was on a bit, and he died at a bit like 5 times.
Yeah.
And he went, I hate dying over and over again. And I was like, well, that game, like, I think there are definitely games that are fully, where the difficulty is actually a big part of the game, right? And I think that's fine. You don't have to play everything all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So, for example, Celeste and the Dark Souls games.
But then Celeste makes loads of accommodations for people who can't play it as,
okay, that's fine. Form. But I would say, like, if someone that's playing video games for a long time, and I would say, the part of that game is getting over that difficulty, right?
Yeah, but if you don't play games that much, you'll find it
but we're talking about someone that played... Yeah. But Ian said he's played games for 40 years.
It's up to the individual. It's whatever you feel comfortable with.
It is up to the individual, right? But what I would say is that a big part of Celeste is getting over that difficulty curve, right? Whereas the reason why I suggested this for him is that you can get so much out of Titanfall without being bogged down with the difficulty. Like, for example, another game, Wolfenstein 2, I knocked that down to easy because I hated the combat. It was frustrating as hell when I died, and the story was utterly incredible to get through. So I had no qualms in knocking that down to easy and just, like, killing everything with one shot or whatever it was. You know, that was totally fine with me because I loved the story. I loved where it went. And I enjoyed the experience way more knocking that down. Titanfall 2, I saw him playing it. I was like, knock that down. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's cheating in any game, actually, single player game. Cause
and just, as I say, especially not in something like Titanfall 2, where it's like, do you know what? It's, you know, it's not like a Call of Duty style roller coaster. There's some quite open bits, and the pacing changes itself up quite a lot. But yeah, it's about the set pieces and the cool things that happen, and
the movement. Hopping from place to place, and that doesn't make it easier. The only thing knocking it down to easy means that you take less damage and you dish out more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. I wouldn't say it's cheating. I mean, I'm doing it more as I get older because I'm not going to waste or spend loads of time trying to get better at a game or knock my head against the wall. But some games, I think you're totally right. I think the challenge is part of it. Yeah, that's part of the arc. Your own personal kind of journey through the game is you getting better, improving, makes things feel more rewarding, etc., etc. But some games, I'm like, I don't think this game's about that, and I just really want to get through it rather than.
I think that explains. I think because I understand your reaction, Sean, but I think that's the point. I am not against them putting an easy mode in Celeste or Dark Souls, right? I'm not against that.
Yeah,
that's fine if that's about people. But if you're asking me whether you should knock it down or not, I would go. Part of the enjoyment of this game is getting over that difficulty hump. So I would say keep trying it on the harder difficulty.
And that's the case with certain games. I'd agree that is the case. But I still think people should have the choice. Like just whatever you want.
I agree with that as well.
Because with Guardians of the Galaxy, I did 90% of it on normal, and then just because the combat was dragging a bit towards the end, I was like, fuck it, knock it down too easy. I don't really feel like it made any difference, to be honest. But
no, it probably didn't.
The point is, it was just like, I just sort of want to get this over with now.
A lot of the tough battles that I had with that, where I was like, should I knock it down? It was because I wasn't listening properly, and I wasn't supposed to be fighting at all. I was supposed to be doing other little bits around the fucking combat areas.
Yeah. There's quite.
It's
a bit
not that clear with some of that, is it?
No, it's really not. Because there's some bits where it's like, do this, brackets 0 out of 5 or whatever. And some of them you are just meant to keep killing people while like Rocket hacks something or whatever. Whereas some it's like, oh no, I'm supposed to be running around to these switches and pulling them and stuff. Yeah, it's a bit odd.
You just reminded me. One thing that I want to do, the huddles in that?
Yeah.
I didn't get any of them wrong because they're so easy to get right. Yeah. Right? At first I thought, I'm really going to have to think about this. But no, it's literally use the one with the words that are on the screen.
Yeah, one's relevant,
not the ones that haven't. Yeah. I need to go and look at what happens when you fuck up. I've not watched that yet.
It's not that interesting. I did it once just out of interest, and they kind of just go like, yeah, right, okay, and run off anyway.
Yeah, but I think that'd be quite funny to watch, though. Just them go, because every time I saw them, they were like, yeah, come on, let's go. To see them go, yeah, all right.
I imagine it would be like playing Life is Strange True Colours in streamer mode, where you just hear like the sounds of them like walking across the place and punching, but no music.
Yeah.
Does the music still play?
It does. Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay.
So, I'm not even sure it affects anything. Although I don't know if you noticed, that's in the accessibility options. Is that you always win that dialogue choice.
Oh, right. Okay. Fair enough. So, that was the other question. Did you have a moment where you put a song on in the ship and someone changed it?
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh God, man, that was actually genuinely brilliant. I really enjoyed it when that happened. I thought it was great. Okay.
Next question. Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS co-authors of the Great Gotti List, during the debates, Sean brilliantly argued, their words, not mine, that Hitman 3 was a cathartic game. I can think of nobody better suited for a DLC villain in that game than Wario, Nintendo's money-hungry deviant. What would completing his Hitman 3 mission involve? Here's to another year of consistent laughs. Sincerely, Maria.
It's got to be something to do with money and garlic, hasn't it? I don't know.
The garlic thing. Doesn't he love garlic? Maybe he can poison some garlic. injects some garlic with the old the rat poison, and then drown him in the toilet. Could you maybe cause some sort of motorbiking accident? He's got that big motorbike, hasn't he? Loves that.
He loves that. One of my favourite parts of a WarioWare game was the WarioWare game on the DS, which had like that, and I've said this a million times on the podcast, I'm sorry, but it had that paper aeroplane throwing minigame.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, so that, and maybe there's a bit in this level where you can like throw a paper airplane from a tall tower and it basically ultimately goes down and kills him.
What, is it like sharp at the front, or has it got like a gun on it?
Yeah, super sharp. Maybe it's got a paperclip on it, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think this might be a false start because I'm not convinced that Wario can be killed.
I mean, almost certainly not.
Maybe he doesn't actually die. You just knock him he's knocked down.
Yeah.
He just goes really small, doesn't he, when he gets hit?
That's right, yeah.
He goes so small you don't see him and you assume he's dead. He's not.
He's not. Yeah.
It's just a borrower.
No, well, he must have died.
I would create a massive nose and have a nostril hair hang out of it because he can't help but pluck that.
That's true.
That actually is just a rope attached to like a 2-ton comedy weight. And when he pulls it down, it just it flattens on him. Yeah,
it's like it's paint tins.
It's paint tins. Yeah, it's
no, it's an iron. It's an iron it's an iron like in Home Alone.
No, okay. But I know you've seen Home Alone recently, but I'm thinking. Comedy
hell, how good would that be as like a Hitman level?
What, Home Alone? Well, they've had the wet bandits in it, haven't they?
Yeah.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you could kill the wet bandits.
Is that Hitman 2?
Can't remember.
I think it's the first one, wasn't it?
I do not
remember. It? Okay, I might have to see that out.
I think there was wasn't it an elusive target? I think that was...
Yeah, that's right. It's an elusive target. Yeah. Google it, Matt. Google it.
Right.
Kevin! Oh, I like it when he does the aftershave as well.
Kevin? That famous line in that film. Kevin!
Yeah.
I mean, those films, that film has like the best screams ever as well in it. The screaming is so good.
You've mentioned that. That's the second time you've mentioned that on this podcast.
I know, because I love it.
That.
They're so good.
I love the sound of children screaming, James.
No, it's the bandits and it's screaming.
No, sorry. I thought you meant when he does the aftershave.
Sorry, we just assumed.
Yeah,
James. Go on.
Ben/Scientologist says, lazy question, but have the lads got any gaming New Year's resolutions? Personally, I started a backlogged to keep a better track of what I've played and hopefully write some mini reviews. I also aim to complete 52 games in the year. I didn't even play that many different games last year, so I'm not sure how I'll do it. But it's just a bit of a laugh.
52 games in a year.
A lot of games.
Games. I don't do New Year's resolutions. Ever, because it's just setting myself up for disappointment.
Well, I always just think, but if it's something I actually wanted to do, why would I wait for the excuse of a New Year's resolution to do it? But I mean, that's not like I'm doing things throughout the year that would qualify as a New Year's resolution. So it's not like I'm being really smart. I'm like, well, I can just do whatever I want. I'm just not doing anything.
It's true.
I have started I've never used Backlogged, but I've had a GG account for a long time, and I want to start using that just to keep track of things. I think it's the same sort of deal. It just allows you to sort of
GG?
log. It's just one of those
like kind of cataloging.
Yeah, it's one of the services where you can just
GG
log.
stand for?
Good game.
Well, no, I mean,
GG
is just
like
a top level
GG
domain.
when you keep. Okay, gotcha.
So I keep meaning to use that. Maybe I'll do that this year. So that when it comes to people saying, "What's a good Switch game?" or "What's the best FPS on the Xbox?" I've got a resource I can just look at. It might be handy. But yeah.
Who's asking you those questions?
Podcast listeners do all. I mean, we tend to sort of filter that stuff out now, to be honest. But
yeah, we do.
Yeah, you've just given everyone ammunition to say, what's the best FPS on the Xbox?
Maybe I can just link. I'll just start making lists on GG, and then I can just link them to that. There you go.
Yeah. There you go. There's your link.
Yep. Done.
Yeah, I haven't got any gaming news resolutions. I mean, just to try and keep playing as varied games as possible. I mean, I play
I'm doing well so far, Matt.
It's incredibly varied so far.
To play a game.
That's my resolution, yeah.
Play a Sega game. That might be a good shout.
Yeah. Find out what we're all about.
I always think about getting into Yakuza games, but there's also a lot of things to do.
Well, you've got all those Dreamcast games coming out to Game Pass this year, so
especially when they're acquired by Microsoft.
They've actually taken off. The first few Yakuza games are not on Game Pass anymore, which is a shame. After that whole like home of Yakuza stuff. Yeah, not anymore.
Maybe that's a move. That's a power move. So
True.
Before they buy
maybe.
it. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, buy us now.
James, get more Switches?
Nah, I've got nothing. I just want to get through the day, innit? I can't bother with resolutions.
Get to the end of the year without
Let's get through
dying.
the day. Okay. Any more questions?
Last one, friend of the show and previous guest Sean LeBode says, if the TCGS team were to collectively, right now, create a game that encompasses something that each of you love, whether that be mechanics, style or design, a composer, blend of genres, etc., how would this individual game turn out? What would you call it, price it at, etc.?
I mean, we've got a name for it, right?
It's the bitterness.
It's the game that's been in development hell for what, 3 years now, James? The bitterness.
Yeah, it has been 3 years. Yeah, it's
so we call it the bitterness, but let's have a production meeting on it. So we need an element of a game that we want in this. Is that what we're saying?
I mean, it's because we keep having all those engine changes all the time. You know,
yeah.
I know. Stop changing the fucking engine, James. Come on. So yeah, something from a game. Let's start with Sean.
I think it should be a roguelike deck builder.
Oh
no! James is the lead programmer. You can't pick the genre. We already said that it's.
It didn't say.
Game
I know he did say that each of you love. I was going to say if it's just something that represents us, then it being a roguelike deck builder would be funny. But no, it does have to be things that we love. Fuck. Shit, I can't think.
Matt, are you going to say?
I want it to have
rocket
drifting in it.
Oh yeah, good
drifting.
Shout.
That's good. Yeah.
Drifting is in.
Yeah, drifting is in. Is it a driving game though, or is it an FPS, or is it a spaceship game? You can have drifting in a spaceship game. We've seen.
You can have it in anything, can you? Really?
Yeah. Mine's easy. Heads exploding when you shoot someone.
Yeah, fair enough.
But there's not enough for that. Do you remember that in Gears of War when you sniped one of the bad guys' heads and they just exploded, and how satisfying that was?
Yeah, great sound as well.
So stitching these together, can it? So yeah, because I mean, I really like Vanquish. So if we're saying it's a shooter where you drift around on your knees with rockets and you headshot people and the heads explode. Time. Yeah.
And
the heads explode.
The bit of drift.
James, anything you want to?
Can I add like narrative choices as well that affect the story?
Yes.
100%. You're like mid-knee slides and you like press triangle X.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of composer, I'm thinking Hans Zimmer.
Oh, fucking yes.
He'd be up for that. Or him or one of his minions, you know. Who's doing the graphics?
Who's doing the graphic? What was the best looking game? What was the game that I really liked the look of? Oh, whoever works on The Artful Escape.
Oh yeah. Okay. And that's already got knee slides in it, so they already know what they're working with.
Yeah, they've got a track record.
Can we get Peter Molyneux to do the marketing?
I'd rather not.
100%, James. Why not?
Do any of us still love Peter Molyneux? I thought that well absolutely run dry at this point. Yeah.
He's doing NFT games now, Sean. Do you know?
Yeah, I know.
I'm tempted to say no because we've got someone who's amazing at marketing on the podcast.
And me.
James, you're doing the marketing. I mean, surely. So I'm going to say no to that one. But James, you are going out at E3 and taking people through the bitter nest, the bitter drift.
The bitter nest : Tokyo Drift. That's it, right? That's it for questions.
What would you call it? What would the price? Price it at?
70 quid.
70
PS5
quid.
exclusive.
Yeah, absolutely. 70 quid.
It's 70 quid on PS5, but then it's coming to Game Pass, obviously. It's
day one. Yeah,
day one.
All right, come on, cool. That's it for the questions, right?
Yep.
Matt, it's your moment to shine.
First socials of the year, baby. This Thursday, we're starting a brand new Sean Bell stream.
Yes,
Take it away, Sean.
So this week, I'm starting a new series called Nuzlocke, Stock, and Two Sloking Barbarackles, which is a Pokemon Soul Silver stream, but with Nuzlocke rules. For those who don't know, this is like a tradition among Pokemon players and streamers where basically you do a run of a Pokemon game, but with two main rules. You can only catch the first Pokemon you see in each area of the game. And if a Pokemon gets knocked out in combat, it's dead. It's gone forever. You have to bin it. The idea being that you end up with like a weird crew of Pokemon that you don't really like, but they're all you fucking got, and you have to fucking bond with them, right? So it's going to be really stressful and upsetting and interesting, and it should be incredibly good fun. So please come and check that out. Thursdays at 9 p.m. It's going to be good.
Lovely stuff. And after that, on Fridays, James is still killing it with Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, it's great.
Another great bit of content this week, James, is where I saw suddenly a couple of people saying, first time. And I was like,
my God.
Oh, wow, James has killed his boss first time. Let's watch this video. It was a 7-second video. I was like, okay, was weird. No, it was just James jumping into a pile of lava first time.
I didn't tell you that.
Turns out it was
tell you this, James.
It was third time. In the end, I did it. It did happen, but
that's not even it. Because what's funny about that pool of lava is it's there to, piss you off But the idea is you're only supposed to jump into it when you're not looking straight at it.
Or
like
if you
it's
get
supposed
knocked
to be
into it or something.
Yeah, you're supposed to you're supposed to
Not
dodge backwards and be like, oh fuck, I forgot about the lava. But yeah, face first.
James, I didn't tell you this, but it was weird waking up on Saturday morning, looking at your phone as you do the moment you wake up, and getting a text from our collective favourite person on the radio ever, with a link to you falling in the lava in Dark Souls 2. Ian sent it to me overnight. It's just the absolute best. I think I replied to him on his deathbed. James Farley's going to turn around to me and say, I've played a character my whole life. I'm an actor. And I've played a character their whole life.
And scene.
And scene.
I wish that was the truth.
Okay.
So yeah, and there won't be any more Mass Effect streams.
Oh, that's officially binned.
Pour one out for
Ditching
that.
it.
Yeah, I
Ditching
just felt like I'm probably going to play that on my own time. Like, I don't think me playing a 30 or 40 or 50 hour game once a week, it feels like it's not working. If I was like a full-time streamer doing it every day, I think you can play those massive games because every day you're getting through it. But yeah, as much as I was enjoying it, it's like, okay, it just wasn't working for me week by week. I don't know when I'll come back. But yeah, no more Mass Effect streams on Sundays, unfortunately. But this Saturday...
It's not working, is it? I will say this. I played a bit of that because it's on Game Pass now.
It is, yeah.
And I started it again. Sean, I highly suggest you just play it for an hour.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my God, I'm transported back. They're talking about the Reapers and the, all of the species that you know, took into your soul. And it was just wonderful being in a Mass Effect game that wasn't saying that it's got a tired face. So, that's been a lot of fun just popping back into that world again.
Yeah, I might do that.
But this Saturday, if you're a Patreon supporter at the £8.50 and above tier, we're doing a Patreon Talks Over for January. Can't remember what we confirmed it would be, but I think you shared a link, didn't you, Sean? Anyway, we've got it confirmed. That's this Saturday, at 9 p.m. There'll be a post out on Patreon in the week. So if you're a relevant tier, you'll get a message with details of how to watch it live. That's Saturday at 9. But Friday, there's obviously Dark Calls. The rerun's still happening, or up to episode 27 now on this week. James returns from his trip from China and catches up with David's gaming before telling him about the Painted World. I think there's only 11 episodes left of that whole series now, so come to the end of it.
Done.
Yeah,
nearly done.
Amazon Prime. We've got Amazon Prime, we've got Twitch Prime Gaming, and we know we haven't been streaming much over the recent weeks, obviously with Christmas and whatnot, but we're very much back in the flow of things now. So if you've got Amazon Prime, you got Twitch Prime Gaming, we'll love it if you came to one of our streams and gave us your sub. You don't have to sub when we're on, but it's just nice if you do, innit? Connect your account, go over to our channel, search TCGS Co on Twitch, and you'll be able to give us your free monthly sub. Patreon, as David mentioned in the beginning, and I mentioned just saying, patreon.com/TCGS, exclusive podcast, talks over, you name it. And literally this month's bonus show of hearing Sean literally live on the podcast, Catch COVID. So it's quite a thing to listen to. And tcgs.co is the website for links to our store, for TCGS merch, social channels, all our podcasts, and of course, link to our amazing Discord. And that's it.
That's it. Thank you so much for living it. It's good to be back.
It is.
It is good to be back. And we will catch you next week for some more gaming chit chat. Goodbye, everyone. We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right.
Goodbye.